in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries regarding the distribution and use of harmful pesticides and herbicides in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should, 1, report on the extent of use of pesticides and herbicides manufactured by Syngenta, Bayer AG, and Monsanto, which have been banned in other jurisdictions, including the United States of America and Europe, for causing widespread aggressive form of cancer. Number 2, confirm whether the farms have been selling 85% of pesticide and herbicides classified as highly hazardous by the Pesticide Action Network, PAN, to farmers in Kenya. Establish whether the pesticides and herbicides sold by the farm are banned by the European Union, and state the reasons for the ban. Number 3, investigate and clarify whether the 3 farms willingly and knowingly presented pesticides and herbicides with high levels of acute or chronic hazards to human health and the environment, and whether the pesticide used in locust control were approved by PAN. These are Pesticide Action Network. Number 4, obtain data on the number of people reported to have suffered adverse effects from the harmful pesticides and herbicides, clarifying whether the 3 farms have compensated people for loss of lives, livestock, and environmental degradation from their harmful pesticides and herbicides. And finally, number 5, state any measures the ministry has put in place to protect farmers from such unscrupulous manufacturers and traders. Honorable Speaker, my statement, the second statement reads, is on the unregulated sale of harmful hair relaxers and bleaching substances by L'Oreal International Cosmetics and Beauty Company. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health concerning the unregulated sale of harmful hair relaxers and bleaching substances by L'Oreal International Cosmetics and Beauty Company. In the statement, the committee should, 1, investigate whether the ingredients used by L'Oreal International Cosmetics and Beauty Company in the manufacturing and preservation of hair relaxers and bleaching substances contain carcinogenic properties such as formaldehyde. Number 2, establish health risks associated with the usage of these products. Number 3, clarify whether the company exercises consumer protection and risk assessment by labeling the chemical used in other products, and if they perform risk assessment to minimize the risk of human contact allergic reactions. Number 4, establish all complaints of experienced side effects after the use of L'Oreal beauty products and give data of those who have been compensated, if any. And finally, 5, investigate whether the products are in the market legally and whether they are disproportionately skewed against the Black African population. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 56. The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Energy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The statement, I rise under Standing Order 56.1a to make a statement relating to matter to which the committee is responsible. I wish to make a statement on the overflowing of the dams used by the Kenyan to generate electricity in the country due to the ongoing heavy rains. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by acknowledging that the rains we have experienced as a country have come with a lot of destruction to property, injuries, and death. As a committee, and as the chairperson of the Senate Standing Committee on Energy, allow me to tender my condolences to the family of everyone who has lost their loved ones. Mr. Speaker, on Thursday, the 2nd May 2024, the committee had the opportunity to overfly the 7 Forks dams that KenGen uses to generate electricity in the country. I want to report that what we saw was a situation that is very critical. Mr. Speaker, sir, as at 6 o'clock on the 6th of May 2024, Masinga Dam was discharging 850.34 cubic meters of water per second. Kabaru Dam was discharging about 1076.10 cubic meters of water per second. Gitaru Dam was discharging 1495 cubic meters of water per second, while Kindaruma Dam was discharging 1174 cubic meters of water per second. And Kiambere Dam was discharging 1316 cubic meters per second. The release of the water is through the cascading manner, meaning that the dam that releases water back to the Tana River is Kiambere Dam, which was discharging 13.16 cubic meters per second. Mr. Speaker, sir, the general perception has been that the KenGen, by practice, releases this water from dams back to the Tana River. This is, however, not the case. When the mega dams were built, a control mechanism called a spillway is built together with the dam. Spillways are structures that either form part of the dam or are constructed just besides the dam. They are used when a reservoir is full to pass the floodwater safely and in controlled way over to a dam, around it or through it. For the 7 Forks Dam, it is not different. That water overflowed and is being discharged through the spillways. Mr. Speaker, sir, prior to overflying the 7 Forks Dams, the committee was able to fly to Garissa and see the damage that has been caused by the floodwater from Tana River. We saw villages and houses marooned by water, roads washed away, and we also heard of untold suffering that the people of Garissa has endured. The irony of the whole matter is that the rust lane that Garissa had experienced before was on the 25th April 2024, 7 days before. Yet, Garissa town was flooded with water. This was water from Tana River, which had broken its banks. Mr. Speaker, sir, following the consultation with the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, the Managing Director of KenGen, a temporary measure to mitigate the situation would be to raise the wall of Masinga Dam by 1 meter. This would significantly delay the overflowing of water downstream. A permanent solution, however, is the construction of the dikes at the most vulnerable, sensitive places in the Tana River and the construction of the High Grand Falls Dam. Dikes are flood mitigation structures created in river that prevent water from flowing beyond a certain height. These flood control structures are used to protect coastlines, riverbanks, agricultural fields, homes, urban areas, and other properties. Countries like Somalia, with the help of the UNDP, constructed 2 dikes in the Bulai stream, which transformed Haji village in the hinterland of Gendo region. The Netherlands have also used dikes to control floods. Between 33 and 60% of Netherlands is located below sea level, and Netherlands depends on the dikes and leaves for flood protection. The other permanent solution is the building of the High Grand Falls Dam. High Grand Falls multipurpose reservoir is one of the flagship projects in Kenya, Vision 2030. The proposed dam site is in Tana River, the largest river in Kenya, and will be located on the left side of the river with the potential to store sufficient runoff, about 5 billion cubic meters, during the rainy season of the flood. River flow regulation and supply for irrigation, domestic and industrial purposes. The government in September 2023 signed a public-private partnership agreement with the UK firm for the construction of the High Grand Falls. It will cost roughly Kenya shillings 425 billion to construct and complete the dam, which will be able to hold 5.7 billion cubic meter of water and generate over 700 megawatts of electricity. The construction of the dam will therefore control the floodwaters from Tana River and will prevent destruction of life and property. Even though, with all the rainwater that has been in people's mind in the reduction of cost of electricity, arising from the increased generation through hydropower, notably the cost of electricity has reduced by 13%. This is attributed to the increased power generation through hydro and hence significant reduction of the cost of fuel associated with thermal plants. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the rain that the country has received has been abnormal. The destruction witnessed has been catastrophic and the death toll has been high. I urge everyone to take utmost care during this rainy season. Let us avoid unnecessary risks and let us keep safe. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandi, you know you cannot raise on a point of order if there is no senator on their feet. Proceed. Now, Senator Fernandi, indeed, I received your notice of motion from the office of the clerk. Now, as you may be aware, it is upon the Speaker to go through a notice of motion or a letter be written indicating all those complaints, and those issues shall be put before the Parliamentary Service Commission for discussion and reaction. In the event that the Parliamentary Service Commission is unable to adequately and to the satisfaction of honorable senators to address those issues, then at that particular time, I will allow any motion for this House to express its dissatisfaction in the manner that the services are offered at Bunge Towers. And therefore, the Secretariat, procedurally, by now the Secretariat ought to have informed you of my decision as the Speaker. If not, Clerk, may that be communicated to the Honorable Senator in the next 24 hours for action. Next order. Yes, Honorable Mungatana.
There are very important issues that were raised in the statements. We will request you if you can give us opportunities to make comments on those statements, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Thank you, sir.
So before we move to the next order, I will allow for 30 minutes as allowable and our standing order for honorable senators to make some intervention on the statements that have been made. Now, we have only half an hour under standing orders, and I can see my dashboard is almost full. So as you speak, honorable senators, be mindful of your colleagues. The Honorable Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the statement that was raised by the senator nominated Catherine Muma, as read by our very own Senator Esther Ekenyuri, on that is directed on the committee to the Committee of National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on the disaster response. Mr. Speaker, in Nairobi County. Mr. Speaker, I was going to request that this committee, as it investigates the issues that have been raised by the Honorable Catherine Muma, Mr. Speaker, to also seek clarification on just two quick ones. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President visited the area of Mathare and directed that the people, 40,000 households who have been affected, will be paid 10,000 shillings per household to help them in their relocation. I would want the committee to find out if the same amount of money or even more can be extended to other counties like Tana River County, which have been badly affected, and people have also been relocated from their ordinary places of living. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to inform the Honorable Mungatana that in fact the announcement by the President yesterday was on plans that his government is intending to put in place to help the people of Nairobi, and this is coming 2 weeks after people have been moved from their houses, after their houses have been washed away. I was extremely disappointed, Honorable Speaker, that instead of coming and addressing the people of Mathare about what the government has already done, the head of state was talking about things that he's going to do. Where does he think these people have been living for the past 2 weeks? Mr. Speaker, this rain in Nairobi started beating us.
What is your point of order, Senator Fernandez?
Mr. Speaker, I rise under fourth schedule on devolved functions, and also section 148 of the Public Finance Management Act. Is it a standing order number 1 and 105, if you want the standing orders? Mr. Speaker, is it in order for my brother Senator Edwin Sifuna to mislead the House, yet issues of disaster and emergency under the budgeting process by the PMF Act, at least 2% of that money should be allocated fighting disasters, Mr. Speaker. The point I'm trying to make is that the issue of handling disaster preparedness is not an exclusive function of national government. What Senator Sifuna should be telling the nation is what is the Nairobi City County government has done in Mathare before
Senator Gloria, we do not allow understanding orders for choruses in this House. Conclude.
Mr. Speaker, in fact, the national government only come to supplement, Mr. Speaker. So is it in order what Senator Sifuna should be telling the nation, what have they done as a county government to address the challenges while we sympathize and empathize with the people who have been affected in this city? What have they done as Nairobi City County on their 2%? And Mr. Speaker, sir, it is money that is allocated under the county revenue, Mr. Speaker. And for the information of the House, the governor of Nairobi said national government has given support to a tune of 500 million, Mr. Speaker. So you cannot allow Senator Sifuna to get away with misinformation and misleading the country, Mr. Speaker. He should be ruled out of order.
Senator Sifuna, if I got you correctly, you indicated that the head of state came to Mathare 2 weeks after the floods had ravaged the area. And instead of coming to say what the national government had done, he came to state what his government was going to do. Taking it from where the Senator Fonandi has said, that under Schedule 4 of our Constitution, that particular function fairly falls within the county government. Would you still want to pursue that line? Or?
I will absolutely insist on that line, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, if you protect me from this frivolous points of order, I was actually going to tell you what the county government has done. But I was expressing my disappointment. Mr. Speaker, this rain in Nairobi started beating us seriously on the 20th of April. By the 24th of April, we, the leadership of Nairobi, were calling for the national government to declare this a national disaster because our own county was overwhelmed. I hear people parroting about 2% of the resources of the county being directed to the disaster account. It's not as if county governments receive all the money that is allocated to them by this House and then separate 2% and put it in their account. As we speak right now, if you are a serious person who follows devolution, you know that the county governments have not received money since January. The equitable share of county governments has not reached the counties from January. So, Mr. Speaker, when you hear somebody saying talk about 2%, 2% of what? You should talk about 2% of money that you have put in the accounts of the county governments. Mr. Speaker, my disappointment is in the fact that from the 24th of last month, people have been sleeping outside. Then you come and tell us that you're going to give 10,000 shillings to the affected households. We have lost over 10,000 households, Mr. Speaker. Where do you think these people have been sleeping? That is my disappointment, and I want to dissuade the Honorable Mungatana. Don't wait for Ruto's money. It's not coming for your people. Mr. Speaker, as I speak right now as a senator of Nairobi, I can confirm that no money has reached the people of Nairobi from the national government. So don't tell us about 2%.
Senator for Nairobi, in this House, we use parliamentary language. If you're referring to a colleague, you refer to them as Honorable Senator. If you're referring to the President, you refer him as His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. We do not have a Mr. Ruto, so kindly abide.
I want to advise...
I thought you had concluded.
Yes,
Senator.
let me make the correction you asked me to make.
Okay,
I want to ask the Honorable Senator for Tana River, the very able Danson Mungatana, do not wait for President Ruto's money. It is not coming. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chirange.
Mr. Speaker, I want to make a comment on Senator Muma. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the national government for supplementing what the default function is. I know you being a former governor, you know, disaster management, disaster response, fire is, and you are a distinguished lawyer in this republic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon county governments. I have seen even your county, some floods have started happening. That the 2% of the total of county revenue should be allocated. It is under the law. Whether the national government releases the money today or even in January, Mr. Speaker, they must allocate, because that's what the budget is all about, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the President, because despite this being a devolved function, Mr. Speaker, he promised that Kenyans will be given 10,000 shillings as a way of alleviating, Mr. Speaker. The Council of Governors should tell this nation, individual governors of Kitui, of Siaya, of Nandi, of Mithika should be telling the country what did they do with the 2% that they were supposed to manage disaster in this republic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say
order,
this.
Order, Senator Fernandi. What is your point of order, Senator, for Homa Bay?
Mr. Speaker, the distinguished senator from Nandi, who was the powerful chair of Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, has obviously not read the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, is a senator in order to mislead this House that disaster management is a function of county governments and that the national government can only come in to assist, when in the 4th schedule of the Constitution, the functions assigned to the national government, function number 24, is disaster management. And Mr. Speaker, where a function is shared between national and county, then the national government takes the lead, sets the policy, sets the structures for county governments to follow. And so, Mr. Speaker, my friend Senator Cherargei needs to go slow on county governments and turn his guns on the culprits, which is a national government that is obviously clueless in the midst of a disaster.
Senator Fernandi, get.
Mr. Speaker, that's I just want to do rebuttal in 30 seconds. When you read under 4th schedule, part 2 on county governments, and I invite function number 12, firefighting services and disaster management. Mr. Speaker, my chairman.
Order. Senator for Nairobi.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi. Senator for Nairobi.
Okay.
If the chair is speaking, you keep quiet.
My apologies.
Now, Senator for Nairobi, we are not going to degenerate into a shouting match. It's a house of order, so we must be orderly. Now, Senator Fernandi, we know that those functions that are a preserve of one level and that those functions that are shared. Disaster management is one of such functions as per our Constitution. So please be guided as you make your contribution.
Mr. Speaker, the reason we should introduce monthly mandamana on heckling for Senator Sifuna. Mr. Speaker, what I wanted to the point is...
Senator Fernandez,
yes, Mr.
proceed
Speaker.
To withdraw that particular statement.
Okay, I withdraw, but the point has been made. Mr. Speaker, what I wanted to say, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw and apologize.
Order, honorable senators.
I withdraw and apologize, but the point has been made. Mr. Speaker, can I be protected? Can I
Senator Fernandi, would you wish to be informed by the senator from Mombasa?
No. I am sufficiently informed, Mr. Speaker.
Then proceed.
You can see how I am prosecuting my points, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the notion I want to correct, while I agree that the issue of disaster management is concurrent function, my good brother, the chair of Public Accounts Committee, has been reading daily to governors about the 2% emergency fund. But when it comes before the floor of the Mr. Speaker, Anaturuka, Mr. Speaker, the point I wanted to make, and I want to thank the President, and you heard the governor of Nairobi yesterday, it is unanswered. He said national government has given in kind and in cash over 500 million to assist the people of Nairobi. We have the people of Nakuru, Mr. Speaker. We have the people that have been affected in Kilifi, Mr. Speaker. We must thank the national government and the President, His Excellency President William Ruto, for standing with the people. Mr. Speaker, he went even and prayed for the victims in Mayumayu, where my sister, the deputy majority leader, was there. He went to Mathare himself. Senator Sifuna has not even gone to Mathare, Mr. Speaker. He has not gone even Muguru kwa Njenga. There is Muguru kwa Ruben, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senator.
He has never gone, Mr. Speaker.
Senator,
then what can he tell
Senator
us?
Fernandi,
Okay.
please take your seat. Now, Senator for Nairobi, you know, if you have a point of order, you know what to do. You need not shout. Okay? Senator Fernandi, conclude.
Mr. Speaker, in conclusion on the issue of
Let the
disaster,
senator conclude.
let me conclude on Senator Chute's, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion. As farmers, we are aware there are many herbicides and acaricides that have been banned in US. We have seen increased cases in Mandera, Marsabit, and even across the country. Mr. Speaker, when not Bayern Munich, Bayern AG, Syngenta, and herbicides, Mr.
Senator
Speaker.
Sifuna, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, on understanding Order 105 on statements, responsibility for statements of fact, is the Senator of Nandi sure about the things he's telling this House, that I have not visited any of the places that have been affected by this flood damage? I know for a fact I have been there myself. So when he starts here, can he substantiate that Sifuna has not been to these places, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Fernandi, if you're not sure about any facts, don't put them on the floor of the House. And on the particular matter touching on the Honorable Senator for Nairobi, you alleging that he's not visited any of these sites. If you cannot substantiate that particular matter, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't say, I mentioned 3 places. I didn't say he has not visited. My answer can bear me. I have said I'm not sure if the Senator of Nairobi has visited Mathare the way the President has visited.
Senator
Mr. Speaker, in conclusion.
Senator for Nairobi, the Senator for Nandi is not sure. You may have, you may not have.
Yes.
Which is quite okay. Proceed and conclude, Senator.
I did learn proper English, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, the issue of cancer. I am co-sponsoring a bill with Mheshimiwa Rahim Daud on Cancer Prevention Amendment Act, and I'm happy you have approved, Mr. Speaker. We must work. In my farmers, we are using CN. We don't know the fake fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, if us have some cancer-causing agents. Maybe our only doctor in the House, Dr. Kalwale, will tell us, Mr. Speaker. So the point I'm trying to make, let the Committee of Health conclude this issue, and I want to call upon senators who have not visited their victims of floods to visit and take pictures so that we can have record of their donations, like Senator Professor Tomo Jenda. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tomo Jenda.
Point of order. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Ojenda, just a minute. What is your point of clarification, Senator Boni?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, to interrupt the proceedings. As you are hearing, we are unable to concentrate on debate. There's a lot of picketing out there, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, it has been happening every day we sit, and I've come to learn that those are doctors wanting to present a memorandum. Mr. Speaker, sir, could you please order the clerk or your deputy speaker or the leader of the majority to go and receive the memorandum so that they can go away? We continue with our business, Mr. Speaker. No, a whip whips members in the House.
Senator Boni, we are not even sure who these people are. You proceeded to assume that they're doctors. Sergeant at times, kindly confirm who these people are, what exactly they want, report to us, and from there we can see exactly how we can handle the situation so that honorable senators can concentrate on the business before the House. Senator Professor Tomo Jenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this, to make a statement, to contribute to the statement on flood disaster response in Nairobi County. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, the flooding in this country this year, I must say, is unprecedented. And unprecedented, Mr. Speaker, because the volumes of water that we have received from the precipitation in most parts of the country, Mr. Speaker, sir, has caused or led to a disaster and to the loss of lives. It is fresh in our mind, Mr. Speaker, sir, that in Mayamahiu, many lives were lost out of a disaster that has never been seen in this country before. Mr. Speaker, in my own county of Kisumu, we have not only lost crop, livestock, but also lives because of, Mr. Speaker, for the first time, Mr. Speaker, since 1964, the volume of water in Lake Victoria has moved from less than 2.4 million to now 2.6 million cubic liters per minute or per second in the lake, leading to a backflow that has affected Kabonyo, Kanagwal, Nyakach, and other sub-counties in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the response of the government, Mr. Speaker, sir, must be commended because the government, Mr. Speaker, sir, has ensured that relief is supplied to the sub-counties. Our DCCs, Mr. Speaker, and our county commissioners are out there bringing help to our people, Mr. Speaker, sir. And we must laud this, Mr. Speaker, sir. My colleagues, Mr. Kajwang from Homa Bay County, is also Senator Kajwang. Homa Bay County has suffered from the same floods. Migori County has suffered from the floods. And we must commend, Mr. Speaker, the President, for taking personal effort to visit Mathare and to assure the residents of Mathare that we must improve the living conditions of the residents, Mr. Speaker, sir, by constructing houses so that people are moved away from the riparian land, Mr.
Senator
Speaker, sir.
Fernande, honestly, we have enough noise.
Mr. Speaker, however, we acknowledge that disaster management is a dual function, both of the national government and the county government. And Mr. Speaker, sir, it is time that we have a framework where the national government and the county government deal with disasters in a manner that does not lead to some of the hitches that we have seen in certain places, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, sir, that going forward, we must plan for disasters and stop these floods once and for all. Mr. Speaker, sir, that can only be achieved by ensuring that we build enough dams in some of these counties, Mr. Speaker, sir. The floods in Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, sir, can easily be controlled by completing some of the dam projects, like Soin Dam, so that we do not have flows or backflows because the volumes in the lake are swollen. And I think Senator Oburu of Siaya is nodding in support of the suggestion that we need to complete the Soin Dam. Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the support is that we complete this dam, Mr. Speaker, sir, but also, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we ensure that all riparian land is cleared of habitations or habitats that inhibit the free flow of Nairobi River, so that we limit some of these deaths that we are seeing here, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Keroche Tabitha.
In waiting. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And I want to support the statement read by Senator Muma on what is happening in the country about the floods. Nakuru County is one of the most affected county. I think we've experienced the worst strategy, and we've lost by yesterday, I think 60 bodies has been recovered and 36 are missing. So we are talking of around 100 deaths in one flood. 140-something families have been misplaced. It is the worst you can ever imagine. I've been there. That's why last week you never saw me here for the last 2 days. And I'm very, very proud of His Excellency, the President, for he came personally and he gave hope to the people that have been affected. He promised and he will swear that those people will be taken care of, they will be given new homes, and they'll ensure they'll check to see whether where they were living, it is safe or it's risky, and he'll ensure that we get a land if it's risky and where we can build them homes. If your counties have not gotten such a tragedy, just pray that you don't get it. It's so traumatizing to the people. They were left with nothing, meaning even the dress that they had worn, the ones who were swept by the water removes the clothes, so they were left with nothing. Their documents are all gone. But His Excellency promised He'll give them back their title, their IDs. They even knew that there is no school fees for the children. So he said even he's going to give the school fees and ensure the children go back to school. He promised he's going to settle them and ensure they start their new life. So that even if they continue mourning, they are not traumatized to know that they have no home. I really want to thank His Excellency and the Deputy President and the government of Kenya Kwanza. My work is to ensure all that is done as the Senator of Nakuru County. I promise the victims that I'll walk the journey with them. I'm very happy and very sure that if it is the county government only left to serve or to work on these disasters, some are clueless, they don't understand what needs to be done to these people. And we've seen a lot of PRs. You can look around and see there's a lot of PRs. For me, it is a very serious matter, and we are relying on the national government. I can put that. There is money put, especially in Nakuru County. It was 605, because 300 was in the financial year, the budget set in the financial year 2020 and 2022-2023, and in that fund, I think we were added about 305. So meaning we already have 605. Then that money alone is enough even to ensure these people are given new life. But we'll continue working and ensuring that what they were promised by the president, they will get, and walk with them the journey. But the question will be asked. The big question is, even as senators, and this is what we need to ask, because there is this department called meteorological departments that give risks assessments. The people who are given those risk assessments, who are they? And do they have the capacity to ensure that if people are told that here people need to be reallocated, are they able to give those assessments and those risk assessments on time, the minute they are given? If you look at the Maimahiu strategy, it is, if you walk around and you talk to the people, it is something that could have been prevented. And it was given by the public and even by those meteorological whatever departments. So we just need, first of all, to check the root of all this, where it's come. If you look at the dams, I've learned, I'm sure now as senators you are learning how these dams are managed. There is a department that is supposed to check those dams when they are overflowing, when they are filling. And there's some to holes or to gates that are supposed to be opened on time so that this water can go on a stream that will not become dangerous to the people. But how do we wait for a dam to overflow and there are people that are assigned or mandated to ensure that those things are not dangerous to the people? I think you've heard of the Kaini Dam. It's one of the biggest. Have you ever had it overflowing or killing people? No. So we need now, maybe this is a call to all the people that have been employed or given those mandates to check these dams of ours. The rivers, you've seen River Malewa. I'm sure you're all worried because there's no more going to your side, especially those who go beyond Naivasha, because Malewa, it is divide Kenya, and people will not be able to whatever. So who are these people? I think the Senate should be, who is supposed to, which department is this that? yeah, maybe you can give me the people, so that now we give that committee, the committee responsible for this, to ensure that the people that are put in this country, to ensure that these floods are controlled on time, they are doing their work correctly and effectively. And the money that is given, of course, for these funds, that it is used effectively to ensure the governors don't put that money in the pocket, but they ensure that it's used to save our people. Asante, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to comment on the statement from Senator Muma, which was read by a nominated senator from Kisii. Mr. Speaker, these rains have really done a lot of damages, not only to Nairobi, but I think now it's in all counties. And let me speak particularly about Machakos County, and that is why, Mr. Speaker, I've raised so that the money that has been allocated to Mathare people be extended to the other counties, and especially Machakos County. When we talk of Syokimau and other many parts of Machakos, people have nowhere to sleep because people have decided to build on riparian land, and the water now has no way. So water is finding way wherever it can go, and it has decided to go into people's houses. And so people have decided to move out, others not knowing where they will go. My county government has moved majority of them to some dispensaries and others to schools, but still there are some who have not been gotten a place to stay, and they are suffering. Those who are living in Gishagi Reserve are having a very hard time because majority of them, the houses have collapsed completely. The toilets and almost everything, they have nowhere to go. They have nothing to eat. They have nothing to even shelter themselves with, even to cover themselves because all the clothes went. Mr. Speaker, disaster management is part of it is from the national government and county government. And I'm calling upon the national government and the county governments to release the funds that are supposed to be helping these people so that these people can be assisted. And I'm also calling upon the chiefs and the DCCs in the counties to make sure that the people affected are the people who are going to benefit from whatever funds, and not just people who are not affected. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I speak now, Masinga Dam is almost overflowing. And if Masinga Dam overflows, I don't know what damage it will do, because it will go as far as even Kitui. It will spread to many, many other places. And that water is so much that no one will be able to resist that water. No building can resist that water. It will do a lot of damage. So I'm calling upon the county government and the government itself to see what they can do about Masinga Dam before it overflows. Mr. Speaker, sir, every day I'm being called by people from Syokimau. They have nowhere. Majority of them are not even going to work. If the schools were open, the children cannot go to school because even the parents are not going to work because they have no access. The roads are impassable. The houses are, covered by water. And so the disaster management funds should be released like yesterday. And it should also be made sure that every county has been given its allocation and well taken care of. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this statement.
Now, honorable senators, we have expanded the 30 minutes, allowable under standing orders on the intervention of the statements. We will now move to the next order. Clerk, call the next order, please.
Order number 8, motion, extension of time for the consideration of the Refugees General Regulations 2024.
The Chairperson Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the motion in an amended form. Aware that the Committee on Delegated Legislation is established under Standing Order 185 of the Senate Statutory Orders and is mandated to recognize through instruments laid before the Senate. Recording that pursuant to Standing Order 195-2 and 3 of the Senate Standing Orders, on 20th of February 2024, the Refugees General Regulations 2024 were read in the Senate and thereafter stood committed to the Committee on Delegated Legislation for its consideration. Noting that the Refugees General Regulations 2024 seek to give effect to the Refugees Act Cap 173 of the laws of Kenya, and that the regulations touch on core functions of the county government as set out as Part 3 of the 4th schedule to the Constitution, including health, control, pollution, county planning and development, public works and services, as well as governance at the local level. Noting that in considering the regulations, due to gravity of the impact of the regulations, the Committee on Delegated Legislation met with officials from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024, and directed the Cabinet Secretary and Principal Secretary, Minister of Interior and National Administration to provide evidence of the conduct of public participation on the regulations and to table a regulatory impact statement pursuant to Part 3 of the Statutory Instrument Act 2013, Cap 2A of the laws of Kenya. Appreciating that under Section 15 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, the Committee on Delegated Legislation is required within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of a statutory instrument to the committee or such a other period as the House may, by resolution, approve to either assent to the regulations or, where it does not assent to the regulations, to recommend to the Senate that the Senate resolve that the statutory instruments be annulled. Noting that the 28 days timeline provided to the committee under Section 15 of the Statutory Instruments Act 23 is due to lapse on Tuesday, 7th May 2024. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 115.3 of the Statutory Instruments Act 23, the Senate resolved to extend the timeline for the consideration of the Refugees General Regulation 2024 by a further 21 days in order to enable the Committee on Delegated Legislation to conclude consideration of the regulations. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
So, are you moving? What do you intend to do?
There was a slight, I request Honorable Mungatana to second the motion. The move and the request Honorable Mungatana to second the motion.
So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to second this motion. Mr. Speaker, this is basically a procedural motion, so I'll not be long, except, Mr. Speaker, to just urge the cabinet secretaries and all other regulation-making bodies that it will be very useful for them to consider coming for consultation pre-publication, as the Ministry of Interior has done in this case for the refugee regulations. And when we see there are issues, we are able to discuss and agree, you are able to correct, instead of publishing and then coming later. Because when you do that, then you give us only one option, to either accede or reject those regulations, which then wastes a lot of time. So I take this opportunity to appeal to all making bodies to come for pre-publication consultations with the Committee for Delegated Legislation. I beg to second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Order, honorable senators. Senator Tabitha Keroche, take your seat. Senator Tabitha, you may extend your greetings after we are done with this session. Just have your seat. Now, honorable senators, I will proceed to propose the question. aware that the Committee on Delegated Legislation is established under Standing Order 195 of the Senate Standing Orders and is mandated to scrutinize statutory instruments laid before the Senate, recalling that pursuant to Standing Order 195(2) and 3 of the Senate Standing Orders, on the 20th of February 2024, the Refugees General Regulations 2024 were laid in the Senate and thereafter stood committed to the Committee on Delegated Legislation for its consideration. Noting that the Refugees General Regulations 2024 seek to give effect to the Refugees Act, Cap 173 of the laws of Kenya, and that the regulations touch on core functions of the county governments as set out at Part 2 of the 4th Schedule to the Constitution, including health, control of pollution, county planning and development, public works and services, as well as governance at the local level. Noting that in considering the regulations, due to the gravity of the impact of the regulations, the Committee on Delegated Legislation met with officials from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration on Thursday, the 2nd of May 2024, and direct the Cabinet Secretary and the Principal Secretary, Minister of Interior and National Administration, to provide evidence of the conduct of public participation on the regulations and to table a regulatory impact statement pursuant to Part 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, Cap 2A of the laws of Kenya. Appreciating that under Section 15 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, the Committee on Delegated Legislation is required, within 28 sitting days, after the date of referral of a statutory instrument to the committee, or such other period as the House may, by resolution, approve, to either accede to the regulations or, where it does not accede to the regulations, to recommend to the Senate that the Senate resolves that the statutory instrument be annulled. Noting that the 28 days timeline provided to the committee under Section 15 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013 is due to lapse on Tuesday, 7th May 2024, that is today. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 15.3 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, the Senate resolved to extend the timeline for the consideration of the Refugees General Regulations 2024 by a further 21 days in order to enable the Committee on Delegated Legislation to conclude consideration of the regulations. Now, Honorable Senators, this is a procedural motion. If you so allow, I'll proceed to put the question. Now, I'll proceed to put the question. That aware that the Committee on Delegated Legislation is established under Standing Order 195 of the Senate Standing Orders and is mandated to scrutinize statutory instruments laid before the Senate, recalling that pursuant to Standing Order 195(2) and 3 of the Senate Standing Orders, on the 20th of February 2024, the Refugees General Regulations 2024 were laid in the Senate and thereafter stood committed to the Committee on Delegated Legislation for its consideration. Noting that the Refugees General Regulations 2024 seek to give effect to the Refugees Act Cap 173 of the laws of Kenya, and that the regulations touch on core functions of county governments as set out at Part 2 of the 4th Schedule to the Constitution, including health, control of pollution, county planning and development, public works and services, as well as governance at the local level. Noting that in considering the regulations, due to the gravity of the impact of these regulations, the Committee on Delegated Legislation met with officials from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration on Thursday, the 2nd of May 2024, and directed the Cabinet Secretary and the Principal Secretary, Minister of Interior and National Administration, to provide evidence of the conduct of public participation on the regulations and to table a regulatory impact statement pursuant to Part 3 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, Cap 2A of the laws of Kenya. Appreciating that under Section 15 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, the Committee on Delegated Legislation is required, within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of a statutory instrument to the committee, or such period as the House may by resolution approve, to either accede to the regulations or, where it does not accede to the regulations, to recommend to the Senate that the Senate resolves that the statutory instruments be annulled, noting that the 28 days timeline provided to the committee under Section 15 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013 is due to lapse on Tuesday, 7th May 2024. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 15.3 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of the Refugees General Regulations 2024 by a further 21 days in order to enable the Committee on Delegated Legislation to conclude consideration of the regulations. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Kenya, you cannot vote twice. Next order.
Order number 9, the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill, Senate Bills number 17 of 2023, second reading, resumption of debate.
Honorable Senators, we will invoke Standing Order 45-2 and rearrange the sequence of today's order paper. We'll proceed to order number 17, and thereafter I will give further directions. Clerk, proceed to call that order, please.
Order number 17, motion, status of pending bills in counties.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 97-3, I beg to surrender 7 minutes to Senator Kajwang and Senator Faki to be able to make certain amendments to the motion. Thanks.
Amepeana.
Yes, proceed, Senator Kajwang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, First of all, I'd like to thank Senator Ledamo Lekina for bringing this motion to the House. This is a matter that this House has been seized of ever since the House was established. During the first years of devolution, we didn't have a pending bills problem. But 5 years after devolution, we started seeing the debts owed by county governments to various service providers piling up. Mr. Speaker, I wish that this motion could be amended, and I therefore would wish to move that the motion by Senator Ledamo Lekina on status of pending bills in counties be amended as follows. Mr. Speaker, I wish to move that the motion be amended in paragraph 2 as follows. In subparagraph 1, by deleting all the words immediately after the word county governments and inserting the following words in place thereof. And I quote, prepare and submit to the controller of budget a payment plan prioritizing payment of pending bills as a first charge on the county revenue fund, failure to which the subsequent quarter budget releases will not be done. End of quote. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, by inserting a new subparagraph immediately after subparagraph 1 as follows, and I quote, the controller of budget takes into consideration the efforts made by a county government to clear inherited pending bills when approving exchequer releases, end of quote. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, the motion be amended in paragraph 2.3 by inserting a new subparagraph immediately after subparagraph 4 as follows, and I quote, county governments in consultation with the control of budget to provide a budget for completion of all existing projects and that initiation of new projects to cease until completion of the existing projects, end of quote. Mr. Speaker, the justification for this amendment, on the first amendment, counties are required to present their medium-term debt strategies to the county assemblies along the county fiscal strategy plans, and this is provided for under Section 123 of the PFM that requires that on or before the 23rd of February in each year, the county's treasury submits to the county assembly a statement setting out the debt management strategy of the county government over the medium term. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this amendment is reasonable, that the plan that will be submitted to the controller of budget is a plan that is drawn from the medium-term debt strategy, and therefore this amendment does not impose any additional requirements on the county governments. Finally, Mr. Speaker, by asking the controller of budget to review past efforts to clear inherited pending bills is to give effect to the powers and functions of the controller of budget as provided for in Article 2284, where the control of budget has a responsibility to ensure prudence and responsibility even before authorizing withdrawals from county or from the consolidated fund. Mr. Speaker, I wish to move that the motion be amended as has been proposed, and I would wish to ask Senator Faki to second that amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuunga mkono hoja ya Senator Kajwang kufanya marekebisho ya hoja ya Senator Olekina kuhusiana na malumbukizi ya madeni. Mheshimiwa Spika, imekuwa muda mrefu sasa tunazungumzia masuala ya madeni ambayo yako katika kaunti zetu, ambao madeni haya kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Spika yamefikia zaidi ya bilioni 60 pesa za Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, ripoti za auditor zimekuwa zikizungumzia malimbukizi haya ya madeni, lakini hakujakuwa na muafaka wowote ama jambo lolote ambalo bunge la Senate limeweza kufanya kuhakikisha kwamba deni hizi zinapungua na vile vile pia zinakuwa jambo la sahau. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, marekebisho haya yatatoa nafasi kwa bunge la Senate na vile vile kwa controller wa budget kuzuia na treasury pia na hazina kuu kuzuia pesa zinazokwenda katika kaunti zetu iwapo hawataweza kulipa madeni. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona visa vingi vya serikali za kaunti kuomba pesa ili waweze kulipa madeni, lakini wakipata pesa zile wanatumia kufanya miradi mingine ama wanatumia kwa safari zao, na hivyo basi madeni yanaendelea kubakia, na haya madeni yanazuia utendakazi wa kaunti zetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona kwamba Wakenya wengi ambao wamefanya biashara na serikali za kaunti wamefilisika, mali zao zimeweza kuuzwa, na vile vile wamekuwa hawawezi kufanya biashara, na hivyo basi pesa nyingi zimeweza kupotea, na vile vile mali kupotea kutokana na ukosefu wa uadilifu katika serikali zetu za kaunti. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, marekebisho haya yatasaidia kuweka nyama ama kuweka meno ambayo yataweza kuuma wakati kutakuwa na upungufu, iwapo hawataweza kulipa madeni haya kwa ule muda ambao umeweza kufanywa. Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono na asante kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Order, honorable senators. Senator Sheki, take your seat. Now, honorable senators, I will proceed to propose the question that the motion be amended in paragraph 2 as follows. In subparagraph 1, by deleting all the words immediately after the word county governments and inserting the following words in place thereof. Prepare and submit to the controller budget a payment plan prioritizing payment of pending bills as a first charge on the county revenue fund, failure to which the subsequent quarter budget releases will not be done. 2, by inserting a new subparagraph immediately after subparagraph 1 as follows. The controller budget takes into consideration the efforts made by a county government to clear inherited pending bills when approving exchequer releases. 3, by inserting a new subparagraph immediately after subparagraph 4 as follows. County governments, in consultation with the controller budget, to provide a budget for completion of all existing projects, and that initiation of new projects to cease until completion of the existing projects. Now, honorable senators, you may proceed to make your interventions. Senator Oroba.
Mr. Speaker, my button is on for the maternal health care bill that I was waiting to contribute before
Senator
you rearrange
Wambua,
the paper.
Take your seat, Senator Oroba. Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do believe that we are speaking to the amendment.
That is the motion that is
yes,
before
yes, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am fully in support of the amendment as moved and seconded on the floor. Mr. Speaker, when we were debating the original motion, members raised concerns over this idea and this issue of the control of budget, all the time just approving payments and releases to county governments, even when there was a serious and consistent accumulation of pending bills. So, Speaker, I fully support the proposal in the amendment that now before the controller of budget authorizes any further exchequer releases to county governments, then the controller of budget must satisfy himself or herself that the county governments have no pending bills, and where there are pending bills, then those pending bills become the first charge on the county revenue fund. Now, Speaker, I know from the beginning, at the initial stages, this will present serious challenges to the cash flow in county governments. I want to take an example of Kitui County, where we have a budget pending bills of around 400 million. Nairobi City County government, where there is a pending bill of 107 billion Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, then the question that we should ask ourselves would be, then if the controller of budget must insist on the full settlement of pending bills, how many years will it take for county governments to begin to receive any exchequer releases from the Treasury? So, Speaker, I think that challenge is cured by subsection 2, that the controller of budget will then take into consideration the efforts made by a county government to clear inherited pending bills when approving exchequer releases. So by dint of that provision, Mr. Speaker, then a demonstration on the part of county governments that they are making efforts to clear pending bills then would result in an arrangement between the Office of the Controller of Budget and the county executives on a percentage or a quantum of release that will ensure that there will be sufficient cash flow to deal with issues outstanding in the counties, even as they move towards the repayment of pending bills. Mr. Speaker, lastly, I think this amendment is timely, and the other thing that this amendment should also do, Mr. Speaker, is to perhaps even provide a time frame within which then we should not have any pending bills in any county government. Because, Mr. Speaker, the law, the Public Finance Act is very, very clear that before county governments commit themselves to any expenditure, there must be satisfaction in writing that the money for the projects earmarked are available and ring-fenced, so that once the projects are completed, then payments are made. And so it is possible, Mr. Speaker, to have a county government operate without pending bills. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the amendment.
Senator Chirange.
Mr. Speaker, I rarely support what Senator Kajwang brings to the floor of the House, but in the interest of the nation, I always support him in the committee, but not other extra issues, Mr. Speaker. But on this one, I beg to support him on this amendment, Mr. Speaker. Many Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, you have advantage having served as a distinguished governor of Kilifi for 10 years. There are many Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, who are diabetic, who have pressure, who are unwell, who their properties have been auctioned, who their children and families are suffering, because their only mistake, Mr. Speaker, was to take a tender from a county government, do it with all their resources, but they were not being able to pay it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while I'm seized of the matter of petition E003 at Kitale High Court, Mr. Speaker, on the verification of pending bills, in the case of Trans Nzoia, Mr. Speaker, we agree that the issue of verification of pending bills, Mr. Speaker, is the domain of Office of the Auditor General that was restated in the matter that came before Kitale High Court, Mr. Speaker. Even my own civil litigation professor, Nixon Sifuna, in his ruling, as even out of desperation, Mr. Speaker, said, should you see a government vehicle, a county government vehicle, Mr. Speaker, he has advised that in that ruling that you cease an auction to recover your money, Mr. Speaker. I can imagine a situation on a hypothetical situation, Mr. Speaker, where parliamentary service is being owed and the deputy minority whip is driving his Prado along Moy Avenue, and somebody who is supplying this water to the Senate has not been paid. Professor Nixon Sifuna, in his ruling, advises that you freeze and seize that vehicle and auction. I don't know what happens with the speakers and the president's car, but you know those ones are heavily guarded. So I want to advise Kenyans who have some funny ideas, they should only go for these small vehicles of Deputy Chief Whip, Mr. Speaker, because you are sure you can hold on until you repay, Mr. Speaker. But on yours and others, it's hard. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to make In conclusion, I agree with the amendment, prepare and submit to the controller budget a payment plan. Mr. Speaker, there were 2 circulars that were issued by Minister of Treasury. And the law is very clear, Article 219, all money that has been appropriated should be released without undue regard, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under the law, the first charge is spending bill, Mr. Speaker. I agree that Senator Kajwang is coming up to ensure when we release, because for example, Nandi, Mr. Speaker, since August 2023 to 17 April 2024, Nandi has received 5.4 billion 8 Kenya shillings. And many of those money has been used to pay some of the pending bills, which no one can account for. When you go to my county, the governor calls MCS and tells them Nandi has a pending bill of 850 million. When our brother Senator Ledama brought a pending bill reschedule, we are being told 305 million, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask the OAG and COB to give the country the true status and account of the pending bill in the Republic. Point number 2, the controller budget takes into consideration efforts made by county government to clear inherited pending bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, imagine if you did a road in 2013 of 1.5 million. The floods are ravaging the nation. There is a road supervisor. There is a certificate that you have to raise, Mr. Speaker. How will you be able to verify such a road? We must, as a country, Mr. Speaker, and I want to agree by the proposal that when a procurement plan, Mr. Speaker, as a House, I want to advise my chair, Senator Kajwang, to come up with a law that before county governments or an entity, including national, including Parliamentary Service Commission, before they look for service and goods, they must have money. And before they develop their procurement plan, Mr. Speaker, to caution Kenyans who are suffering daily because of the loans that they have taken, Mr. Speaker. The final amendment, county government's consultation with controller budget to provide a budget for completion of all existing projects, and that initiation of new projects cease until completion of existing projects. Mr. Speaker, this speaks to what, and my chair is aware of this, that for example in Nandi, we have over 500 projects that one has only been complete an ECD. You saw the Kabiet, Nandi Creameries in Kabiet is yet to be complete. You saw Kapsabet New Mother and Baby is yet to be complete. You saw at Kapsengere Dispensary Hospital yet to be complete. You saw at Kobuja Health Center yet to be complete. You saw at Yepterua Nyayo Ward yet to be complete. And I'm just mentioning a few projects, Mr. Speaker. You saw Rivertex in Mosoriat yet to be complete. You saw about the one in Tindre, the coffee milling machines, yet to be complete. Mr. Speaker, on this one of projects, I agree that if it comes to Nandi and any other county, let those projects be completed, because those projects are and for the benefit of the people of Machakos. It does not benefit the governor in office at the moment, Mr. Speaker. So I agree with my chair on this amendment, and I hope you can be able to track Narok, among other places, Mr. Speaker. And the governor of Narok appeared the other day. And we were able, Mr. Speaker, to ask him a few questions on how those projects have been implemented, including roads, that Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the best amendments. And if there is a good job that has been done by Senator Kajwang in the history I've known in the flow of this House, thinking member of the society should support. I thank you.
Now, honorable senators, this motion is being moved, debated, and a vote taken on it had 15 minutes. We have already overshot the runway, and therefore I will proceed I will call upon the mover to reply. Let's stick to our standing orders, honorable senators.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply, and I also beg to invoke Standing Order 66.3 to defer putting of the question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Indeed, the putting of the question on this motion is deferred. We will now go back to the order on maternal, newborn, and child health bill. Call that order, clerk.
Order number 9, the maternal, newborn, and child health bill, Senate Bills number 17 of 2023, second reading, resumption of debate.
The Honorable Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I had a balance of a few minutes.
13 minutes.
13, so I'll just spend like maybe 5 or so to just say that, Mr. Speaker, this bill establishes a proper system for care of newborns and women who have just given birth. Mr. Speaker, in this country, we have never legislated on issues that pertain to our women, to the detail that this bill has sought to do. And yet, Mr. Speaker, our women are the ones who bear the brunt of most economic activities. Mr. Speaker, I came to learn that even when the governors and the members of parliament are giving CDF forms to fill, it is our women who are on those lines, Mr. Speaker, the queues that make the lines for getting those forms done because of their children. But, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to legislation, we have sort of put them behind, Mr. Speaker. And so I want to take this opportunity to just thank the Honorable Beatrice for this job that she has done. Mr. Speaker, I support this bill, and one of the reasons I support this bill is because, Mr. Speaker, it has given a clear way in which to deal even with the mental issues, postpartum care that is required when our women have gone through the process of childbirth. Mr. Speaker, in our custom amongst the Pokomo people, there used to be, and nowadays it is slowly disappearing, but there used to be a proper way to look after mothers who are about to give birth and immediately after they give birth. Mr. Speaker, we used to have those who we call hakabis. And Mr. Speaker, a woman who was about to give birth, they would be taken care of by older women who come and they station themselves with the expectant mother. And they are given proper care. They are given special food. They are given massage. They are taken care of in every possible way so that the baby can come out safely. And even after the baby comes out, Mr. Speaker, the woman is also supported because, again, they are taken care of physically by these older women who have gone through the experiences. And Mr. Speaker, after a period of 30 days, when you come to meet your wife, after they are in that ceremony of coming out, she looks extremely beautiful and different from even before she gave birth. And Mr. Speaker, that kind of support is no longer there. In the modern world we live in here, in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in the towns that we are creating, Mr. Speaker, traditional support systems don't exist anymore. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill is in response to the reality that is on the ground. We no longer have traditional support methods for our mothers who have given birth. Then what do you have? You have women who undergo postpartum depression. You have women who even are suicidal, women who do not know how to take care of their children, who they have just given birth. And there's no mechanism for support as we used to have them traditionally. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill is a very good attempt at supporting our women, and I thank the Honorable Senator Beatrice for what she has done. And, Mr. Speaker, I urge all the senators who will speak to the issues to support this bill, and if possible, if there are amendments that you've thought about, please bring them. But this bill, we must make it pass as soon as we can. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to support.
Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support this bill for maternal health care. Mr. Speaker, mothers go through a lot, and especially after they've delivered. They've lost a lot of blood. That is when they seriously need a lot of care so that they can be able to recover from what they have lost, and they continue to breastfeed their babies. They are also losing. They are feeding, but they are feeding for 2 people. Mr. Speaker, this bill is very timely. It's a high time we continue now thinking about mothers, just like Senator Mungatana has said, like how the women of before used to be looked at after they've delivered, because there could be even a cow slaughtered for them to be fed properly, and a lot of wheat meals and many other things so that they can recover from the loss, because when they are pregnant, they are feeding 2, and after they've delivered, they lose a lot. And so, Mr. Speaker, it's important. This bill is very important, and I support. Thank you.
Senator Gloria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice to a very important bill, a bill that is going to touch on the lives of women, a bill that has never been legislated. We have never really legislated on any matters that touch on women, Mr. Speaker, and that is why I am really eager to push that we see this to fruition, Mr. Speaker. I understand, or I get the feeling from the floor of the House, that some of our male colleagues may not understand what maternal health care is, Mr. Speaker. For avoidance of doubt, so that we don't have some senators like my mentor, Senator Halwale, telling me that it still touches on men, maternal health care is actually the health of a woman while she's pregnant, when she gives birth, and after she gives birth. Mr. Speaker, so unless there is a man in the house who has given birth, maternal health care is literally touching on the lives of women and women only, Mr. Speaker. The reason I want to say this is because there is some laxity that is taken when we are legislating around the lives of women, Mr. Speaker. And I'm very happy that Senator Beatrice has actually taken her time to articulate the issues which many men might not know that women undergo through this period of pregnancy, giving birth, and after they give birth, Mr. Speaker. Most of the husbands and spouses who sit here, all they can tell you is that when my wife is pregnant, she has mood swings, and to Limpelek, we took her to hospital, she gave birth, And then they will tell you, Mr. Speaker, that maybe we are giving her 3 weeks to recover and everything will go back to normal. That is probably what most of the men know. They don't know, Mr. Speaker, that when a woman is carrying life, Mr. Speaker, when a woman is carrying a human being in their body, in their stomachs, there's so much that goes on, Mr. Speaker. And you cannot bungle it together and just call it healthcare and just call it a matter of whether you're sick or you're not sick. It is a special kind of condition. So to have a bill that caters for this special kind of condition, first of all, is the acknowledgement that only women can give birth and only women can bring forth life. And so therefore, we need a specific piece of legislation that touches on this very important act of nature, which otherwise would, if it didn't happen, Mr. Speaker, it would be the end of humanity, Mr. Speaker. Having said that, maybe it is important to point out that most of the deaths that we have, infant deaths and also deaths of women when they are giving birth, are attributed to lack of the skills during this period of pregnancy, giving birth, and afterwards, Mr. Speaker. You will find that we have access to skilled birth attendants has improved from 62 to 70%, but that doesn't mean much, Mr. Speaker. It only means that at least the Kenya Kwanza government has actually pushed to have our community health promoters, who are otherwise known as, I forget the word, but the women who are in the village who assist other women to give birth, Mr. Speaker. Right now, the Kenya Kwanza government has actually pushed that these community health promoters are equipped with the right equipment, such as if it's razor blades, if it's just basic things such as thermometers to check on temperatures, and equipment that they can use in the village at the point where the woman is unable to reach a health facility, Mr. Speaker. 80% of the maternal deaths are attributed to poor quality of care, Mr. Speaker. We have brought, I think, 4 statements at the floor of the House that are touching on the deaths of either newborn babies or women who have gone to hospital to give birth and unfortunately did not make it out, Mr. Speaker. Those statements have been handled by the Committee on Health. But, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the reports that have been tabled, one was actually tabled to me on a lady from Dagoretti North who passed away while she was giving birth. When you look at the reports, you will see that the reports indicate clearly the access to skilled labor was a problem. The second thing is that issues that should be brought up as red flags in terms of this period of giving birth were actually ignored. And most importantly, the women do not have access to these particular healthcare centers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, I know that some of the members of the House might not see this as an important bill, or maybe they thought we should push on other pieces of legislation. But, Mr. Speaker, let me point this out. In this House already, within the 20-something months that we've here, we have had many senators who have actually given birth. Mr. and I'm privileged to have a medical cover here. The kind of policy that I have as a woman is not the same policy that, let's say, Senator Cherargei will have, Mr. Speaker. I will be covered on issues to do with sexual reproductive health rights to an extent that I could have like maybe 6 or 7 checkups and things like that. And that is what Linda Mama was trying to provide, but from a public space, Mr. Speaker. So even as we legislate on maternal health care, maybe I would caucus with Senator Beatrice and all the other women legislators and see how we can revive or how we can convince and persuade our health minister to perhaps table something in cabinet to ensure that women are actually taken care of, as I said, in the manner with which we require, especially for those who are pregnant, are about to give birth, and after they give birth, Mr. Speaker. I don't want to belabor the point on how we as women are special, Mr. Speaker, but let me end by saying this, Mr. Speaker. I do believe that each and every single person in the house here was actually brought on this earth by a woman, Mr. Speaker. So as we are deliberating on these issues, let it not be that these issues are issues that only touch on women. These are issues that touch on your families. It's actually the center of continuity of humanity. And so when we discuss on things that might seem irrelevant, like I have seen some of the proposals on what it will look like on county level, how we have to have the policies on county level, how we have to have healthcare centers that have the minimum on ABCD in terms of childbirth and taking care of our infant babies who might not be born in good health. Mr. Speaker, I just want to urge the senators to understand that this is a matter that touches on each and every one of us, and maybe the importance of this maternal health care bill should be stressed. And I do hope that when it comes to the floor of the House, I know that I don't have a vote, Mr. Speaker, but I do hope that I'll be able to rally that all the members will support this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this very important bill by my good friend, Senator Beatrice Ogola, the Maternal, Newborn, and Child Health Bill. Mr. Speaker, I've perused through the bill, and although I'm particularly impressed with the thought in terms of policy, in terms of responsibilities, Mr. Speaker, one thing that we forget, and this is what I was mentioning to my sister, is that today in this country, our doctors are on strike. And we're here legislating to be able to care for those children. Mr. Speaker, hypothetically, suppose there's a child out there who needs what exactly we are proposing here, but cannot be given because we have failed to be able to bring proper negotiations on the table and putting those children ahead. Sometimes, Mr. Speaker, when I read all our proposals, I think we miss the boat. A lot of them are futuristic, although I support futures works. And I'm particularly happy with Senator Ogola having even cared for future mothers. This is something which most people don't even consider it. You're only thinking about today, but you're not thinking about tomorrow. There are three very, very important things in this bill which I hope to demystify. Briefly, there's the issue of maternal. That is something which is separate. There's the issue of a newborn. And then the third part is the issue of the child health. Mr. Speaker, what Senator Beatrice Ogola has done, she has taken the mother, proposed measures to ensure that that mother, whether she's sane, because in most cases, Mr. Speaker, when you go through our streets, you'll find a pregnant street woman. You know, sometimes you'll see a mad woman who is pregnant. I just want to say thank you, my dear sister, for thinking about every member of this society. We are all here today courtesy of children who are born, our electorates, people who voted for us to be in this house, to be able to think about other future generations. So it is imperative that the first thing, and this is the first thing that I want to request my sister to do, is where she's talking about providing a proper healthcare, I think in number 8, where she says, every healthcare provider shall provide background. That is actually very good, because we should never forget that we come from somewhere. In our culture, when a child is born, when the umbilical cord has been cut, you are told, hold your life, and I hold my life. That is the way all of us, in fact, in Masai say, "Mbongalta my bongala like." Mr. Speaker, today, because of the many challenges that we have created for ourselves, our healthcare is in a dilapidated state. The only way that we can ensure that, one, that mother, and I said I will divide this bill into 3 sections as I debate, as I try to persuade my dear brothers and sisters, honorable senators, to fully support this, is that that mother needs care. You know, this bill talks about future mothers. I love that. This bill talks about pregnant mothers. I love that. This bill talks about mothers after delivering. But what I want to do is now to say, let us combine them such that the care that we are seeking to be able to provide for these mothers, those, because they are intertwined, the mother and the child maintain the same policy. If today any of our citizens go to the hospital and delivers, up to the time you deliver, your policy covers both you and the unborn child. The moment the child has been put on the table, you are now asked by the hospital to provide a medical cover for that child. Who knows if that child is going to be able to survive for 30 days, for 90 days? So I want to propose that we now become future-centric and we amend insurance policies, Insurance Act, so that it covers that child and that mother for 1 full year, until the time when that child can be able to survive. We lose a lot of children. One, because either the mother cannot afford to pay for her own insurance policy and also pay for the child. Mr. Speaker, there's only one section that I'm not very sure of, and I want my sister to be able to elaborate this further. Still on the section 8, where it says in her bill, she says, I'll read 2 and 3, where the child under subsection 1, and subsection 1 talks about the issues that I've been trying to explain on the care that is supposed to be given to the child and the mother, is severely malnutrition, malformed at the time of birth, the healthcare provider may refer the child to a relevant medical practitioner for comprehensive assessment, diagnostic, and treatment. And then further it says, a healthcare provider shall not, and the word here shall not, provide healthcare services to the child under subsection 1 unless the healthcare provider has obtained consent from the parent or the guardian of the child. Mr. Speaker, I see that as a bit contradictory, because here we are saying, let us provide that child with the best care. But then when you are putting it into a condition where it depends on the mother to say, provide my child with care, and if you don't do that, that child is not treated, we are actually going to cause a lot of problems. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to persuade my sister to delete that section and to ensure that everything that we are saying here, that we are talking about making sure that we are providing our mothers and children with the best cover, is to ensure that the state takes responsibility. It takes responsibility on that child until that child is 1 year old. You know, in future, we might actually say until that child is emancipated. And that time you're looking at about 18, 19 years old. But because we are realistic on the state of our finances as a country, I think there's nothing bad in amending Insurance Act and ensuring that that child and that mother are together for 1 full year, let my policy covers. Mr. Speaker, I've noted that in this bill, the Cabinet Secretary has been given a lot of responsibilities. I dare say the reason why we're having a lot of problems today in this country, particularly because of this issue of the strike by the doctors, is because although our function has been fully devolved, level 1 to level 5, we are still relying so much on bureaucracies of a cabinet secretary. I think it's about time, and this House must now ask serious questions. Are we really ready to deal with the issue of devolution? Are we? We should always say, we always keep on saying, form follows functions. Even in this bill it says that county government shall provide money for the maternal, newborn, and the child health programs. Should we now be saying that we cost, how much it will cost per child to be protected, to be provided with services, and this House allocate that money? When we allocate that money, we deduct from the money that is being allocated to the Ministry of Health. If today, Mr. Speaker, you take the budget of the Ministry of Health, you'll be shocked. It is almost equivalent to almost 30 counties, allocation to almost 30 counties. And what do? Just a bunch of policies, keep on talking, running up and down. They cannot even sit down and agree with the doctors. The person who is running that docket is completely incompetent, cannot even be able to sit down and have a discussion on issues that are affecting Kenyans. So let us not have double standard, Mr. Speaker. If we are here, and we are here because of the interest of our people, we must then be able to legislate, knowing clearly the consequences and the non-intended consequences. Mr. Speaker, I know a lot of my colleagues want to contribute to this. I want to persuade my sister to relook at this bill, because I just really perused it a lot. And I realized that there are a lot of responsibilities that have been given to the Cabinet Secretary on this issue of health. And in the same bill, it talks about us respecting our cultures. Because our county governments have been divided based on, more say, cultures, or tribal groups and affiliations, apart from this business of nowadays where we say a county is cosmopolitan, just because of interest. I think we need to give more responsibilities to county governments. And we should literally start by allocating more money. The big problems we have in county governments today, Mr. Speaker, is being brought by the duplication of functions. Where the national government says, oh, let's come here within 48 hours, or maybe within, let's say, a fortnight. We have passed a legislation on community health workers. And then, without actually thinking, when the national government goes there, the president says, we were going to pay these community health workers 50%. Now county governments also put 50%. County governors, they go, boop, they take the money without looking at the entire budget. We need to cost. We have institutions in this country that can be able to help us cost these services. We have KIPRA, we have the Commission of Revenue Allocation. These are independent bodies. And then once it is brought here, before we even vote, the first thing that each one of us should be reminded is that we are just a conveyor belt. You know, for us, we are moving. We are not going to live in this world forever. We'll be here today. We convey certain information. We help the community for future. It is about time that we start looking at everything, Mr. Speaker, being future-centric. You know, the United Nations talked about the SDGs. And in this country, the former president and the prime minister then, I think, came up with Vision 2030. And that Vision 2030, Mr. Speaker, I think has already been forgotten. Other countries are now saying Vision 2050. I think it's about time that all of us look at all that we want for this country and become realistic. And we move each and every function that has been devolved. We make sure that everyone who has got a fiduciary duty or responsibility, remember that they will not live in this world forever. Right now, all our hospitals are closed. Don't let anybody lie to you that hospitals are open. It is only us, the rich, who can be able to afford hospitals. Because when we fall sick here, no one gives a hoot in hell about the strike of the doctors. We'll get on a plane, first class, business class ticket, go to Dubai for treatment. But the people who have brought us here, what do? They wallow in poverty, they die. I think it's about time that we rethink seriously. And as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I fully support this bill. And I warn my sister. There's a point of order.
Senator Eddy, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I'm rising on a polite point of order. 114. My senior Senator Ledama, who is also my leader in the House, has talked about something that is very serious. And matters of healthcare are not easy to joke with. But I think that I know it's very emotive, but it's not in order for him to impute that all these members of parliament, when they are sick, they will go to London or Lisbon or to the US. I think there are a few who might be very privileged, and I don't want to assume that he's one of them, because I know he's a very humble man. I know Senator Boni Alwale prefers being treated in Malinya, not in Lisbon. And I know that Senator Kajuang really loves being treated in Homa Bay. And I know that Senator Eddie Okech really prefers Migori hospitals. And I know that Senator Beatrice also likes being treated in Godquero, somewhere in Migori. Senator Amida was sick the other day, and I saw her very keen being treated in Kenyatta. So I think that maybe he wanted to talk about the executive, because the executive might have more affinity to going outside the country, but not these esteemed members of parliament. So I beg, through your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, that he withdraws that inference, that perhaps we might want to board planes Senator and go very far. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ledama Olekina, to the extent that you've made reference to the item on quote-unquote colleague senators and also matters on items which are not a subject of this bill, you out of order?
Mr. Speaker.
To the extent that has been raised by Senator Eddy.
Mr. Speaker, I think the best thing would have been to ask me whether I'm in order or I'm out of order. But I stand firmly with my position that we are hypocrites. Because when we fall sick, our policy can cater for us for up to 45 days outside this country. We have a commissioner here, and she can attest to that. So let us stop being hypocrites. Let us call a spade a spade. Right now, we are here when the doctors were out on the gate. We couldn't go. You know, we couldn't go. All of us could not go. I have attended it severally. A few of us have attended. But if we really care about the future of this country, we would have called off the sittings and we moved out to receive that petition. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, because this point of order by my very good friend, Senator Eddie Okech, is frivolous. You know,
Senator Olekina, remember the chair has ruled. And to that extent, the Speaker did indicate that to the extent of the point of order that had been raised, you are out of order. And therefore, Senator Okech, I'll not allow you to interrupt this. I want you to conclude by limiting yourself to what is relevant to this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am very happy, and I'm happy to be informed by my brother, the Chief Whip. Please inform me.
Thank you. Senator Halwale.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The senator for Narok for his stand on the plight of patients and doctors in this country. I would like to inform him that only this afternoon I rose on a point of order to draw the attention of the chair on what was going on outside, and he responded, and the chair of the Health Committee went and officially received the memorandum, which is now commendable. And through this information, Mr. Speaker, may I further appeal to the Speaker that those doctors standing out there, they are telling us that they recognize us as the only institution, constitutional, that is mandated to represent them as voters. And therefore, the Speaker should move further, table that memorandum in this House, because we have been waiting for a way in which the grievances of the doctors could come to the House. Now it has come through the committee, Mr. Speaker.
I think your information is made,
concluding. It can come so that we discuss it. Mr. Speaker, we want doctors to go back to the wards, to treat the patients. We are tired of buying coffins and attending funerals for preventable deaths, Mr. Speaker. I speak this as the Chief Whip of the government, and I know that the President of the Republic of Kenya does not want a single person to die. He wants doctors to be in the hospital. If the problem is the minister, fix it. If the problem is the PS, fix it. If the problem is money, Parliament is there, let's vote for it. Doctors must be paid. Patients should stop dying like chicken, Mr. Speaker. I thank
Senator Halwale, conclude. Senator Lekina, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me appreciate the Chief Whip for informing me. I'm fully informed, and I was seated right here when he actually called the attention of the Speaker on the issue of the doctors. To that I say, Congole. Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, because my time has really been interfered with, please give me 1 minute, I finish. Because just add me 1 more minute.
Conclude, Senator.
Let me conclude, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to end by saying this. I fully support this bill. And I hope as I support this bill, my dear sister will actually come to our Committee on Health so that when we are looking at this bill, we can be able to incorporate at the Committee of the Whole a few amendments that can be able to make this bill actually function. Because as it is, there are a lot of things that don't take care of this generation. They're very good, they take care of the future generation, which I support. But we need to really think about our priorities in this country. Health should be our #1 priority, Mr. Speaker. The challenges we have today. In fact, they'll even be made worse because we seem to have missed our priorities, even on this issue of the floods. There'll be so many people who will suffer from cholera, and a lot of them will be either newborn babies, mothers, and all of us. So let us be serious for once. And we all sit down together and say, enough is enough. Let us care for this country. Let us build.
Senator Olekina, your time is up. The microphone is taken. Senator Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I also rise to support this bill, and I want to congratulate Senator Ugola for coming up with such a beautiful bill. I'm surprised to see Senator Gloria saying that elderly women like me do not support this bill. Actually, the elderly, they are the ones who are going to support this bill very, very keenly, because, as we know, we are talking of the future mothers who are our children, and who.
What's your point of order, Senator Olekina?
Mr. Speaker, is the Deputy Majority Leader in order to refer to herself as an elderly woman when we know that she's still a very young lady, very active, and a distinguished senator?
Senator Ledama.
Seriously, she's not.
Resume your seat. Senator Ledama, resume your seat. Senator Keroche, for your information, she made reference to an earlier contribution by a member. And of course, as a matter of fact, she's disputing that fact. And so
Yes,
proceed, Senator
thank you.
Keroche.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, I think we, or the women, are the ones who are supporting this, this bill, because what we are talking of, the future mothers, they are our children and our sons. And we know very well that currently, as we speak, the way the economy is, most of us, the mothers, are the ones taking care of our children, even when they get married and even when they are marrying. So meaning those children, when we come to saying that they be given the free maternal and on the newborn child, and the child health, it's a relief for the mothers, because now their children, the future mothers, will get catered for. I remember during our time, that was what is happening in the hospitals. If you walked in the hospital when you are pregnant, you could get all these free things. And even during the the clinic, when you're taking a child to the clinic, there was a certain time we could get all those things free. So meaning we will get this bill back to where we came from, we will really be celebrating this country. And you know, the future of every child depends on how he was taken care of, especially his health, in the early ages. So I support this bill. I promise that I will not take a lot of time, because I know most of us, we want to contribute in this bill, but I really want to say that we really support this bill. And we will continue praying so that this bill can be approved and become materialized, so that our children, the future mothers, can benefit from this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Keroche. Senator Moses Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to proudly support this bill by Senator Beatrice Ogola. For the record, this is a third bill that has been sponsored by a member of the Homa Bay delegation in this 13th Parliament. Senator Beatrice Ogola has brought the maternal newborn child health bill. Senator Moses Kajwang brought to the House the vocational and technical training bill, and also the county boundaries bill. And Mr. Speaker, you will realize that the bills that have been sponsored by our female colleagues are the bills that touch on the core socio-economic issues in this republic. And I think that's why this House would be better off with more women, not necessarily more men, If you look at the bills that I've highlighted, Mr. Speaker, the bills that I've sponsored, they are really hardware kind of bills or a conflict kind of bills. But this bill by Senator Beatrice Ogola is a bill that touches on the core things that a nation should be, and that is about the children, that is about the women, and that is about the reproductive rights. Mr. Speaker, as I support this bill, when you think about maternal health, child health, we must ask ourselves how Kenya performs against global standards. The Sustainable Development Goals have put a target that under 5 child mortality should not exceed 21 children out of 1,000 live births. In Kenya, in the year 2022, Kenya had double that number. We are doing badly. 41 children out of 1,000 births die under the age of 5. And the global average is 38. And so, in as much as we have reported progress in certain parts of this republic, when Senator Roba was in Mandera, the interventions that he was able to undertake using devolved funds improved child mortality, improved maternal mortality, but it is still below the global standard, and it is still double the SDG, which we all aspire to achieve. Mr. Speaker, in Article 43 of our Constitution, we have the economic and social rights. And part of that is that every person has the right to the highest attainable standards of health. And Senator Beatrice Ogola has put it in her bill that every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of maternal, newborn, and child health services. Mr. Speaker, this bill by Senator Beatrice Ogola gives effect to Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya, and I think that it is an extremely important initiative. Mr. Speaker, I was looking at a report by the Institute of Economic Affairs, and they are saying that preventable childhood deaths are unacceptable, and I do agree with them. Many of us as parents, whether it is direct or through proxy as a guardian, an uncle, an auntie, you know the pain of losing a child, and we should not visit that upon our people. And whereas the outcomes have improved along the tarmac, because this is a country of inequality, this is a country of iniquity, where those who are better off always find themselves next to a tarmac, or find themselves next to an electricity pole, or in the past, a telephone line. Away from the tarmac, many people are losing children under the age of 5. And whereas we are talking of 41 out of 1,000 births, Mr. Speaker, you might find that perhaps in certain parts of northern Kenya, eastern Kenya, southern Kenya, the number could be much higher. This bill, if well implemented, and if it has enforceable provisions, should ensure that children do not die out of preventable reasons. Mr. Speaker, where I come from, we have the malaria problem. And many of us have suffered malaria, repeated bouts of malaria growing up. And it's just by the grace of God that we are still alive, and also because perhaps we are close to certain facilities and we could get medication. So, Speaker, malaria is still a leading killer of children under the age of 5. And unfortunately, the national government does not have its own budget for malaria. Malaria support in this country comes from donors. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to speculate because many people have said that the national government does not care about malaria because it is a disease for the tropics around the Lake Victoria. It is a disease for the people around the coast. It is not a disease for the highlands. I want to refuse to agree with that characterization because I do not want to imagine that we have had governments that have decided that let the people who lie in opposition areas die of malaria. But the fact that the national government tends not to have its own line budget, relying mostly on the presidential fund from the United States and millennium support and funds from multilateral and bilateral sources, tells you that sometimes the government is insensitive. And malaria, if it hits me today, Mr. Speaker, I could survive. But if it hit a child under the age of 5, the results could be different. Immunization access, Mr. Speaker. We must ask ourselves, to what extent has the national government devolved this to county governments? Immunization and its politics is almost similar to the politics of fertilizer. Mr. Speaker, if one day we will do an inquiry to find out whether we are giving our children immunes or immunity-boosting products or water or placebo, I am sure that a country that can give farmers sand and soil and things that cannot generate productivity, you will be surprised one day to find that we are injecting our children with water and placebo. I do not want that to be the case. And in fact, I hope that I will never be proven right. But Mr. Speaker, if our morals are to the point where we can fool farmers, where we can give them seed that cannot germinate, where we can give them fertilizer that is not fertilizer knowing full well that it is stone and sand, do you think, Mr. Speaker, if you have sunk to that low in terms of a moral compass, do you think that something would prevent us from giving our children water and placebo and things that are not useful? I hope that that will never be the case. And I hope that this bill by Senator Beatrice Ogola will make sure that those immunization services which are part of child health and newborn health are properly transferred to county governments, and that county governments must be compelled to provide proper budgetary allocations for those kind of services. Of course, I know the national government tends to want to do the procurement, the big procurement for the immunes or for the vaccines. We saw that during the COVID outbreak. But Mr. Speaker, we must confirm that the vaccines that our children are consuming is not water, is not placebo, and it is the right thing. When it comes to the health of mothers, Mr. Speaker, the Linda Mama program that was initiated in 2013 was perhaps one of the good things that came out of the Uhuru administration. And I think that we must give credit where it's due. Launched in 2013, the objective of Linda Mama was to enhance or to broaden access to maternal health support services. And Mr. Speaker, the statistics show that as a result of Linda Mama, more women are giving birth in skilled care facilities. I can tell you that perhaps half of us here, perhaps we were born at home. I watched as my young brother was born on one Saturday morning. I was sleeping on that bed, and I was woken up and told to leave the bed for my mother to give birth on the same bed. And Mr. Speaker, that young boy who was born on that day today is a doctor. And he survived. He was delivered by a woman who did not even go to primary school. There is that indigenous knowledge. In Swahili, I think they are called wakunga. In Luo, they are called nyamrerwa. And in every other culture, I'm sure there are those skilled persons, not skilled in the modern sense, but skilled in indigenous knowledge. They know which plant to use when you have a boil. And they'll get some plants, they'll squeeze them or boil them, apply it on the boil, and Mr. Speaker, within 2 or 3 days, that boil will burst. They know what to use for respiratory problems for children. So, Speaker, a lot of children nowadays, because of climate change and the degraded environment, are born with serious respiratory problems. Those women without schooling, without KCP or KCSE certificates, would boil some concoction in a pot and cover us, and we would be subjected to that, and it would heal. And it would not just heal, but cure those kind of problems. We saw it when COVID came, that those things that those women used to do for us back in the days became now the new norm when it came to the COVID pandemic. They would take trees, like the neem tree, mwarubaine, and boil it. And as bitter as it was, Mr. Speaker, when you drank that mwarubaine, it would flush out the diseases. How do we incorporate that indigenous knowledge into our mainstream health interventions? The community health workers, Mr. Speaker, that the President launched previously, not too long ago, the program that this Senate passed a legislative framework to support. Mr. Speaker, these community health workers cannot really fit in the shoes of those traditional women, those health attendants, those midwives who are able to help my mother give birth to a doctor today. Because there's a curriculum, there's some training, there's some knowledge, you have to be trained on a few things, but we must find a way of integrating those indigenous knowledge holders within the modern structures. Mr. Speaker, even if we go to the top of the pyramid, when it comes to childcare, we know that those experts who are trained to deal with issues of children are called pediatricians. So, Speaker, pediatricians take care of children, and I would be very happy to be informed by the senator for Kakamega because he's a medical expert, whereas gynecologists take care of the women. I'm not very sure who takes care of the men when it comes to reproductive issues. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you told me as a man to go and see a gynecologist, I would be a bit hesitant. I hope that there are gynecologists who can take care of problems that men have. But I am sure that pediatricians take care of children. If you look at the number of pediatricians in this country and compare with the number of children that we have, the ratio is completely imbalanced. And further, Mr. Speaker, we do not have a national pediatric institution. What we have in this country is Gertrude's, and Gertrude's has been around. It is a non-profit, and they provide very good services. But it cannot then have the soul, it cannot have the DNA that you need out of a national pediatric referral institution. Mr. Speaker, this House must move a motion and make a resolution that this country must have a national institution dedicated to children, a national pediatric facility. Other countries have done it. We've got Kenyatta National Referral Hospital specializing in everything and about anything, but we need to have an institution that specializes just in childcare. For example, what Gertrude's has done, but with the support from public coffers. Mr. Speaker, if someone has gone to school for 6 years, become an intern, become specialized as a pediatrician, why should we begrudge those people their salary? Why should we begrudge them their pay? Mr. Speaker, advocates today are charging 10,000 shillings for a letter because it's regulated by the remuneration orders, advocate remuneration orders. We have seen even members of this House, charging 1 billion shillings for legal services. And it is justified, and it is justifiable, as long as you are complying with the Act, and as long as you have gone through taxation. We have seen in pending bills of counties, Mr. Speaker, bills of $1 billion owing to legal professionals. And we are saying we cannot begrudge advocates their fees. They are professionals. They are regulated. Mr. Speaker, today the richest people in the world are software merchants. They are making billions out of software. Why should we feel bad when doctors are asking to be paid something that is proportional to the amount of time that they spent in school? And Mr. Speaker, we should resolve that if the government cannot find money to pay the doctors, we should be willing as members of parliament and members of county assembly to forego our earnings so that it can go to those doctors and health workers. Mr. Speaker, in some countries that we have visited, like in Cuba, a member of the Senate, being a senator is not a full-time job. Being a senator is not what you do from morning to evening, from Monday to Monday. You are either an advocate, doing your job and coming to the Senate to deliberate on matters that affect the country. You are either a doctor, like Dr. Khalwale here. That is your core profession, your core occupation. Coming to the Senate is just like going to church. Mr. Speaker, I belong to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We've got elders, just like Senator Manzo. He used to be an elder, and I think he did something, then he's no longer an elder. He was de-whipped from church. Senator Manzo is not a full-time elder. He does not wake up on Monday to do elder duties, on Tuesday to do elder duties, on Thursday to do elder duties. He is an advocate, a very reputed advocate. He is a businessman. Those are the things that keep him busy, that put money in his pocket, but he comes to the Senate for the love of the people of Makueni and for the love of the people of Kenya. But we have turned it the other way around, that we are first senators and we are first politicians, and then our any other business is being an advocate or a doctor. I think we need to change that. Doctors have no luxury of that nature. A doctor is a doctor from morning to evening. He's on call at night. A doctor while flying on a plane, the Hippocratic oath that a doctor takes compels a doctor, if there's an emergency mid-flight, the cabin crew asks whether a doctor is there. And if you're a doctor, you must respond. A doctor is a doctor full-time. A politician, a senator can never be, that can never be our profession or occupation. Let's find other things to do, but let's come here to debate on things that affect the nation, and let's release some of those resources so that we can remunerate those who deserve to be remunerated as such. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, we have seen improvements in outcomes on HIV/AIDS in Homa Bay County, where I come from, because through Linda Mama, we have been able to prevent mother-to-child transmission of HIV and AIDS. And I do hope that the Cabinet Secretary, and I do hope that this current government, their policies around health does not include dismantling Linda Mama. It should be about improving it, doing studies on the weaknesses and gaps, and making sure that we do it better. Because access to high-quality maternal, newborn, and child health services is a constitutional right for all Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, even in the US, the debate now, beside immigration, beside economy, beside Israel, beside China, is now on Roe versus Wade, the decision by the Supreme Court on the issue of abortion. In the 11th Parliament, the then Senator Sijeny brought a bill to this House, which the House rejected. But the bill was important because it was talking about reproductive rights and reproductive health. Let us not be afraid to insist on high-quality reproductive health services to our children and adolescents. And Senator Beatrice Ogola has addressed that in this particular bill. Mr. Speaker, I support, and I will continue sharing with Senator Beatrice Ogola on how we can ensure that the roles of national and roles of county governments are distinct, and for delivery of health services, and for these responsibilities on the county governments. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Samson Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, from the onset, I want to congratulate my committee member colleague, the specially elected Senator Beatrice Ogola from Homa Bay delegation. Mr. Speaker, it's rare to see commandeering between delegations like Senator Kajwang and Senator Beatrice Ogola. But of course, anybody who would not want to be friendly with Senator Beatrice.
Senator Cherargei, did you say commandeering?
No, how can, yes.
Say
it depends, it depends.
Withdraw the earlier statement,
it depends
then
where,
say it appropriately.
Yes. What do you mean small English? The warm and hospitable relationship.
It is called camaraderie.
Oh, yes, yes. Mr. Speaker, I want to remain relevant to the debate of the House. I don't know why Senator Eddy is excited. Anyway, he's normally excited when I'm speaking. But I'm impressed by the relationship that they have, professional relationship. It's rare. I've seen a number of delegations here fighting even. Mr. Speaker, even your former senator, there were so many letters that were flying around, even to allow to vote. And I know Senator Kajwang understands what we went through in the last session. Mr. Speaker, Senator Beatrice Ogola continues to distinguish herself as a he for she and she for he in this House. Mr. Speaker, I've had a misnomer to try and paint us good sons and gentlemen of Africa to behave as if we don't support he for she and she for he. I want to put the record straight that anything that allows our society to flourish, and Mr. Speaker, I see people saying it is important, even as men, we need to be taken care of. Because, Mr. Speaker, under Article 26, life begins at conception, Mr. Speaker. You need also a man who is well fed, well kept, so that you get quality seeds, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, or Mr. Speaker, you get the quality at the conception, Mr. Speaker. Because also you don't want to have men who are shooting blanks, Mr. Speaker. We want men who are shooting live bullets, in quotes, Mr. Speaker, to make, because I have heard women saying, women senators, some of them saying here, Mr. Speaker, that, that men don't care about women. We care, but how will you get pregnant without men who can shoot live bullets, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that you get pregnant? So men also, and I know men, the other day we fired our chair, who was Stephen Leto. We have given Chairman Oparanya, the former governor, to be the chair of men's conference, so that some of these issues we can highlight during men's conference, Mr. Speaker. The point I'm trying to make, Mr. Speaker, this is a conversation that we cannot, Mr. Speaker, this is a conversation we cannot have in isolation. It is about also a third gender rule. Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon my colleague, female or women senators, that let us have a conversation where we rally men and women together, so that we work. We want a father who is loving. Under Article 53, Mr. Speaker, it talks about parental care. When you look at the Children Act of 2022, Mr. Speaker, number 29 of 2022, the Children's Act. And I was lucky to be taught the children and the law by my good brother and my mentor, Professor Wabwile, Mr. Speaker, who taught us about the children law, Mr. Speaker. So we need men and women, we need fathers and mothers. Because when a child is born, the Constitution talks about Article 53, the parental care. So the man only, we should stop this misnomer that the business of a man ends after, Mr. Speaker, after impregnating a woman. We should also know, Mr. Speaker, the role of the father continues beyond the pregnancy. You know, I saw somebody saying, Mr. Speaker, that men only come in, that they saw their wives or women getting pregnant, then they are being told a child is born. That is not true. Mr. Speaker, there are many men in this city and across the country who are going with their women to antenatal clinics, Mr. Speaker, who are taking them, who are even taking care of the children, Mr. Speaker. So this is a conversation that involves everyone, Mr. Speaker. We must appreciate the fact that women play a critical role. Mr. Speaker, we have been told, according to research, that even children who do not have a father figure end up with some weird behaviors. We have been told on several occasions, Mr. Speaker, because the father figure is an authority. And that is why the drafters of the Constitution, I'm not casting aspersion, Mr. Speaker, on single parents, either single fathers or mothers. What I'm putting across is that the father figure and parental responsibility is a joint effort. It is a 50-50 effort. So we want to urge men, especially people who are yet to get married, who are yet to start procreating, like Senator Eddie, Mr. Speaker, to learn these things from elders like some of us. We have our brother, Senator Dr. Boni Khalwale, who can be of great help, because I know his expertise goes beyond what I've seen and I've imagined, Mr. Speaker. So that is the essence. We must agree and have a shared conversation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let us, and I want to agree, when Senator Beatrice Ogola proposed this law, I went to the Children's Act, and I realized she's right, because I was asking myself, Mr. Speaker, the Children's Act has extrapolated, as you know, as a senior lawyer in this country, has extrapolated Article 53 on the rights of children, like parental care, right to be given to a name, right for parental care, Mr. Speaker, right to be given a name, right to basic free and compulsory basic education, right to basic nutrition, shelter and health care, protected from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, and, Mr. Speaker, parental care and protection, of course. Therefore, the children are supposed to be protected from abusive cultures. Where in this country, we still have cultures who practice FGM, Mr. Speaker, in some communities, which is still a big challenge in the emancipation and the freedom for the issue of girl child in this republic, Mr. Speaker. We still have communities where children as young girls as 6 years, as less than 10 years, are doing for marriage matchmaking, Mr. Speaker. I know it is dominant in other communities, Mr. Speaker. Those are what we call cultures that are harmful to the growth of the child, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, And therefore, when you look at the Children Act 2022, it's just expropriates rights. And I'm happy Senator Ogola has extrapolated and say taking care of the child from 0 days to 12 years. That is when the child now enters into teenagehood, adolescent stage, into graduating into adulthood, Mr. Speaker. Although in some cases we have had at 16 years, the consent can be achieved in some other jurisdictions. Mr. Speaker, and therefore I only wanted to amend that we should start from conception. We see how we can do it, and then the newborn, maternal, newborn, and then a child health care, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will just make 4 points before I allow my colleagues to also continue. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of postpartum, I agree that we need to look, because most of the women, Mr. Speaker, others because of economic challenges, because of the nature of their well-being, we must look at issues of postpartum issue, Mr. Speaker, the mental well-being. When we discuss, and I remember, Mr. Speaker, in the last session, I am happy the government had opened a mental wellness center. I think it was somewhere in Rongai or in Kajiado County, and the president went and lodged it. We did debate, Mr. Speaker, for the longest time on mental health bill at the floor of this house. And these are some of the issues like depression. We are losing many young Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, I read a sad story. I don't know, a young girl, Mr. Speaker, decided to jump to some river, I don't know which county was this, and a child strapped at her back, a young child. And she left a note that I cannot die alone and leave my child. And I know members have seen in the news, Mr. Speaker. That could be postpartum depression, Mr. Speaker. We must look at the mental well-being. Especially their body changes to a woman when they get pregnant. They also struggle, you know, when they give birth. There is that challenge in their well-being, and it can affect even their mental wellness. And therefore, I agree that we must address, because to avoid suicidal thoughts, Mr. Speaker, sometimes there are people who become deadbeats. Others just shoot like snipers and disappear. Mr. Speaker, it might bring depression and stress to most of our young girls and ladies, Mr. Speaker. But I want to advise, because I'm a man, for free, that before you get pregnant for anybody, Mr. Speaker, you must be sure this is the guy. Check the quality of the genes or seeds, if you like, in quotes, and then check that if that person can hang around. You know, Mr. Speaker, the nature of men are hunters and gatherers. Mr. Speaker, that is beside the point. Another point I wanted to make is clause 5. Of course, I have said this standard maternal and youth. The child health, that is Article 53, Mr. Speaker, talks specifically about the issue of child, right, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and I think in future, I don't know whether our standing orders allow. We used to have a former majority leader who used to read his submissions. But when you go to US, and I know Senator Eddie is an expert of issues of US, you find senators reading their presentation. I don't know what she will do, and I've seen even in Parliament of Uganda where people read their presentation, but I know maybe our common practice, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue of number 5, on the issue of course, culture, I've said that as leaders, we must be at the forefront to condemn some of the cultures that are harmful to our health. You know, some people, I know under the Jewish practice, a child is supposed to go under initiation within 8 days of being given birth, if my memory serves me right. There are some others, people would want to do some tattoos and many others. I know, Mr. Speaker, you are aware there is a song that is famous that says in our local culture, Kijoran tattoo lakwet. And it is a common, so we don't know. What I translate is that a child has drawn a tattoo. And it's a serious, that song, Senator, talks about a child who has imprinted a tattoo. So they say, Kijoran tattoo lakwet, lakwani. So that is, so to some of those things allowed under the law, when you take a child, put them an imprint, put them a mark on their body, it could be culturally acceptable, but it is wrong, because there is no consent. We have said the consent, Mr. Speaker, and we have practiced longer than some of us, is at 18 years. So what should we do? I know there is guardian alitem, as the law says. There is a guardianship, the role of suing through the next friend. But does another have a consent? Senator Beatrice, I don't know, you need to look at the legal jurisprudence, and the speaker you can sit with him so that he can give you the legal jurisprudence. If today I take my child to be done a cultural something, maybe an imprint or a tattoo, or something, a mark. When that child, I'm the guardian. Am I allowed legally under the law to give consent on behalf of the child? So we need to have that exposition on that jurisprudence. Number 5, I agree, but I don't know. I know there are a number of people who are Catholics here, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of family planning, I'm happy. She has captured something about not pregnant, but I know a number of us are Catholics, Mr. Speaker. A number of colleagues are Catholics. They say let the natural take its course, Mr. Speaker. They don't agree with how do you capture? I don't know how you will have a conversation with Catholics, for example, when it comes to issue of family planning, Mr. Speaker. I know the only family planning that has been captured in the Bible is the withdrawal process, Mr. Speaker, where another person was doing that in the Bible. So I think that has been captured. So the also of conception, it is in the Bible, Mr. Speaker. I'm not quoting something that is not in the Bible. Appropriate counseling, Mr. Speaker. Services for pregnant women, I agree, Mr. Speaker. Early detection and pregnancy, Mr. Speaker. I had a senator here say, and unfortunately she has left the chamber, that she doesn't know if she's pregnant or not. So I don't know, Mr. Speaker, but I agree that we must detect early. You know, some of the ectopic pregnancies or some of the miscarriages, Mr. Speaker, sometimes happen because maybe the mother or the girl or the lady or the woman does not know they are pregnant. So it is important for the antenatal care clinics for the visits that are there, Mr. Speaker. Preparation class, I don't know how relevant is this. I don't know whether in Africa, but maybe also traditional midwives that a senator had referred to, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, clause number 8, every health care provider shall provide to a child from time of birth to the age of 12 years. And I agree, so that that child at the age of 12 years. Mr. Speaker, another challenge is immunization. You know, there was a sect in Kitui, Mr. Speaker, and I know a number of us know that they refuse immunization. Even some of these sects that we have in the country, these people who are what we call religious extremism. You remember the issue of Shakahola, Mr. Speaker, debacle, where we were being told they were not allowed to eat, they were not allowed to take children for immunization. There were a number of, I remember in Kitui, there was a sect that would not agree their children to be immunized. What do you do about it? The issue of immunization, there have been allegations, Mr. Speaker, even through UNICEF, where allegations have been leveled that the immunization process, Mr. Speaker, has been, there were allegations that it is a way of controlling birth rate in Africa. So we need, apart from the resistance from some of the some communities, we also need to alleviate the fears that immunization is a way maybe to change DNA character of Africans or to control the birth rate, Mr. Speaker. So on this issue of immunization, I beseech Senator during the public participation or during the report writing, capture properly. I know, and it is worth to note that over 70% of our children, according to the latest findings by National Vaccine and Immunization Program in the country, have been vaccinated. Where are the 30%? And you know, Mr. Speaker, during COVID, I was told most Africans survive because we do immunization against polio, diphtheria, whooping cough, among others, Mr. Speaker. So we need to agree as a country that we need to move to 90% to ensure and encourage. I think the role of county government in this bill, and I want to thank the senator, she has elaborated that awareness. We need to go to the village and tell that mama who did not go to school that they have children, Mr. Speaker, that you need to take them for immunization. That's how we will prevent diseases like polio, Mr. Speaker, among other diseases. So that a child, if the child needs special needs, and I'm happy the PWDs have been captured, Mr. Speaker. You know, there are children who have special needs. I see some parents, and it is wrong to hide a child who has special needs or PWD child. I want to encourage parents, if you get a child, it is not by design or because, Mr. Speaker, if you have been given a specially needy child through or a PWD child, seek services. Let them take them to special schools. We have the special school for blind in Kibos. We have another one in Kapsabet. We have small homes that are being run by the Catholic government across the country. Let us all, Mr. Speaker, and ensure so that we take care of those children. They are special. They are unique. We have our special Senator Crystal Asige. She's doing extremely well. than other well-able senators. I'm not saying, but considering the perception that we have created. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the issue of services for women with special, Mr. Speaker, I heard Senator say here, and Senator Ledama should listen to this. I have been, Mr. Speaker, I have gone through these streets, even in many other areas. I always find that, Mr. Speaker, has it not shocked you that how can PWD, a woman who is PWD, or what we call akili pungwani, or a mental disorder, is pregnant, Mr. Speaker? Who are impregnating these women, Mr. Speaker? Even in my area, a woman who was mentally disturbed, every season I used to pass, I see her, she's pregnant. Until the local dispensary in my place had to cut off the fallopian tubes, Mr. Speaker. Or how can we put it? Had to put it on family planning, Mr. Speaker. Because how on hell would somebody impregnate a mentally disturbed man? How do they do it, Mr. Speaker? This is shocking. It is a shame, Mr. Speaker, but I'm happy the issue of PWD has been captured here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the functions of county government, of course, and national government is highlighted, fourth schedule policy. Mr. Speaker, the issue of county assembly and reporting to parliament, I agree for accountability purposes. I want to encourage Senator Ogola, who is deeply engaged with Senator Ledama, that they should attach to the reports that the president normally tables, especially on human rights aspect. Mr. Speaker, the MCS must allocate budget. I agree with that, Mr. Speaker. And also vulnerable groups and identification of these vulnerable groups on how to assist. I'm aware with the floods, Mr. Speaker, like my tragedy here in Nairobi and across the country. There are many people, Mr. Speaker, who because of one thing or another, they have lost their parents. They have become orphans overnight. We need also to ensure they are captured. Mr. Speaker, Holland said, I want to assure the women of this country that men are he for she, and she for he, because without women, we are not there. Without men, we are not there. We must exist through symbiotic relationship because God has put us together. So I know this, and in fact, I want to encourage Senator Ogola, when she takes this bill to National Assembly, should look for a man to co-sponsor the bill so that we own together. These children belong to all of us, Senator Amida. They are our children. You need a man to make them, and you need a man to take care of them. Mr. Speaker, the food that we eat is provided by men, Mr. Speaker. And I know provided by men and women, Mr. Speaker. And Senator, one of the senior most parents in this house, Senator Kalwala, agrees with me because he has seen a lot. Mr. Speaker, did you see he was training his son to be a bullfighter like him? That is why most children grow up to be like their fathers, Mr. Speaker. And I'm impressed, apart from being a student of university in one of the reputable universities in this country, he's training him to be a bullfighter, Mr. Speaker, but I hope he will just train him for bullfighting only, not for politics. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, congratulate my sister and wish well. We hope to see this bill in fruition. I support, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Maruma Jonas Mwashushwe.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa hii fursa kumenipa ili kuunga mkono huu mswada ulioletwa kwa Senate na Senator Beatrice Ogola kuhusu afya ya mama mjamzito na afya ya mama ambaye amezaa na mtoto mdogo ambaye amezaliwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, kumekuwa na sera nyingi na sheria nyingi zimetungwa kuangazia haya maswala, na pia kuna sera zingine ambazo hazijaingia katika sheria, na katika hekima ya Mheshimiwa Beatrice akaona ni vyema alete huu mswada wa kuangazia haya maswala. Mheshimiwa Spika, nitaangazia haya ama sehemu ama sections kama 5. Ya kwanza ikiwa ni sehemu ya 5 ambayo ni ya kuangalia haki ya matibabu vile ilivyoangaziwa katika ibara ya 43 kwamba kila mwananchi ama kila Mkenya kulingana na katiba anahitaji kufikia matibabu. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa mama mjamzito na mama aliyezaa na mtoto aliyemchanga, wako na haki za kupata matibabu, na huduma ya kwanza ambayo inafikia ama inapelekea kuwafikia hii afya iko katika sehemu ya 6 ambayo imesema kwamba mama ambaye hana mimba anafaa kupata huduma fulani. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna huduma kama ya aina vyakula ambayo mtu ambaye hana mimba ama mama ambaye hana mimba ama mwanamke, maana kama hana mtoto basi mama, mwanamke ambaye hana mimba anafaa kufanya. Wakati wa kwenda kwa tendo la ndoa, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna mambo tulikuwa tunaambiwa tufanye kabla ya kwenda kwa tendo la ndoa, na katika universities nyingi ama vyuo vikuu wanafunza elimu kwa mfano ya HIV ama ukimwi, na wanaambiwa ya kwamba kabla hujaenda kwa tendo la ngono ama kufanya mapenzi, basi ni vyema kuangalia vile vifaa ama zile zana zinazotumika katika matendo ya ngono. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa mfano mwanamume kabla hajaenda kwa tendo la ngono aangaliwe kama ako na hali ya afya ya kutosha, ama inaweza kuwa ako na maambukizi ya virusi, ako na maambukizi ya fangasi, ako na maambukizi ya bakteria. Mheshimiwa Spika, hili ni swala ambalo limekuwa na hamasisho la kina mama ambao hawajapata mimba. Wanaelezewa kabisa kwamba ukienda kwa tendo la ndoa ama kufanya ngono ama kufanya mapenzi, yule mtoto anatakana kuwa na afya njema, na kama atakuwa na afya njema basi ni lazima yule mwanamume ambao unaenda naye kwa tendo la ngono awe na afya njema na awe labda hana maambukizi. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hili Mheshimiwa Beatrice ameona ni vizuri kwamba tuangazie ama kuangazia afya ya mama na mtoto, basi ni lazima pia tuangazie afya ya mama ambaye hana mimba, apate hamasa ya kutosha, ili kwamba kama atapata mtoto ambaye ana afya nzuri na yeye mwenyewe ana afya nzuri, basi kabla hajaenda kwa tendo ambalo litapelekea yeye kuwa na mimba awe ameangaliwa vizuri. Mheshimiwa Spika, sehemu ya 7 inaangalia huduma zinazofaa kupewa mwanamke aliye na mimba. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, haya ni mambo kila wakati katika mafunzo ya kiafya, katika maelezo ya maredio na vyombo tofauti, na katika vyakula vingi ambavyo Mheshimiwa Spika watu wanakula vimeandikwa. Kwa mfano, dawa hii usikunywe kama wewe ni mjamzito, chakula hiki, kinywaji hiki, labda pombe usinywe kama wewe ni mjamzito. Kwa hivyo haya ni mambo ambayo yamekuwa, lakini pia Mheshimiwa, katika hii mswada umeelezea kwamba ni vyema basi mama ambaye kuna mimba apate haya maelezo. Na pia Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo mengine ambayo inafaa kuelezwa mama ambaye ni mjamzito, basi ni kazi ambazo anafaa kufanya na kadhalika, na pia kwenda kwa huduma za kliniki. Mheshimiwa Spika, sehemu ya 7 pia inaangazia masuala ya mama ambaye ako na mimba, na katika hii sera na sheria ama hii sheria inatakana kuangalia mambo ya huduma za dharura. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa mama ama mwanamke ambaye ako na mimba, ni vyema kuwe na mpango dhabiti, mpango mufti ya kuhakikisha kwamba mama ambaye ako na mimba atajifungua kwa hali ambayo si tatanishi. Kule nyumbani, Mheshimiwa Spika, nimeona vituko na katika maisha yangu ya mama ambaye ni mjamzito, lakini hakuna vifaa ama huduma za kutosha za kuhakikisha mama ambaye ako na dharura anaweza fika kwa hospitali. Mwaka wa 99, Mheshimiwa Spika, nilikiwa naendesha gari na kuna mama ambaye alijifungua akiwa kwa gari yangu, kwa sababu nilimpata ako barabarani, hakuna gari la ambulance, na huo wakati kuwa na simu, ilibidi nimbebe kabla hajafika hospitalini akajifungua. Na ilikuwa ni hali hatari sana, kwa sababu mimi mwenyewe sikuwa naweza kumsaidia huyu mama ili kujifungua. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kujitayarisha na kupatia elimu ya kutosha mama wajawazito ni muhimu sana. Juzi tu, miaka 2 zimepita, kuna mama alikuwa mjamzito na amepelekwa kwa health center ambayo haina vifaa vya kutosha kule Voi, na alivyoanza kujifungua, bahati mbaya mtoto akaanza kuja vile visivyo, ikawa anakuja na miguu imetangulia. Mheshimiwa Spika, kujifungua natakana mama mtoto aje na kichwa. Hawa nurses walipiga simu kwa kituo cha referral cha Moi kwa mfano, na wakaambiwa kwamba tutakuletea ambulance, na wakangojea masaa matatu bila ambulance kufika. Mheshimiwa Spika, huyu mama bahati nzuri alisaidiwa na miujiza na akajifungua, akasaidiwa na madaktari. Kwa hivyo katika kujitayarisha kwa kina mama kujifungua, inatakana hili liwe kosa ama kutojitayarisha kwa kutosha kuwe ni kosa la uhaini ama criminal offense kama tujajitayarisha vya kutosha kungojea na kusaidia kina mama ambao ni wajawazito. Tumeona hospitali zetu hali za afya zimedorora na si nzuri. Kwa mfano, itakuwaje watu wangojee ama mama angojee masaa matatu bila kufikiwa na ambulance? Na ile procedure, Mheshimiwa Spika, inatakikana ni kwamba mama akiwa anajitayarisha kujifungua, basi kuwe na ambulance. Wakati ambulance imeitishwa, maybe isichukue dakika 30 kabla haijafika, na wale ambao wanangojea mgonjwa wawe wametayarisha tayari kufanya upasuaji kwa huyu mama ili kumsaidia. Kwa hivyo nitaambia Mheshimiwa Beatrice labda tufanye mageuzi ili kutojitayarisha vya kutosha kwa hospitali na huduma na county governments liwe ni kosa la jinai, iwe ni criminal offense, kwa sababu watu wengi ambao wanakufa, kina mama wengi ambao wanakufa, watoto wengi ambao wanakufa katika wakati wa kuzaliwa ni kwa sababu ya matayarisho ambayo hayafai. Kwa kimombo nafikiri tunaweza sema ni medical negligence. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii sehemu ya 8 inaangazia huduma za mama na mtoto kwa wakati amezaliwa. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, kumekuwa na matibabu ya bure katika hospitali nyingi, lakini kwa sasa hivi hali ya afya imedorora kwa kaunti zingine. Unapata ya kwamba matibabu ya mtoto ambaye amezaliwa, mtoto mdogo, ni ya bure, lakini kitanda bado wanalipa. Kwa hivyo watu wengi wanaogopa kupeleka watoto wao hospitalini kwa sababu ya kutozwa pesa hospitalini, na saa zingine hawa watoto wanakufa. Nilikuwa na mfanyikazi wangu mmoja ambaye alikuwa na mtoto mgonjwa, kampeleka hospitalini na akawa anashindwa kumtoa kwa sababu licha ya kuwa kuna linda mama na sera na sheria zimewekwa na serikali za kusaidia watoto kama hawa, alikosa kutolewa kwa sababu ya bili ya 4,500 kitanda na chakula peke yake. Kwa hivyo nafikiri kukiwa kunatengenezwa kanuni za kuwezesha kufanya kazi huu mswada, basi iwe bayana ya kwamba kama ni kutibu mtoto ama matibabu ya mtoto aliye kuanzia mwaka mmoja ama kuanzia kuzaliwa mpaka miaka 5, hiyo huduma kama ni bure, basi iwe bure bin bure ama bure ya bure kabisa, kwa sababu hata chakula na kitanda bado hayo ni malipo na watu wengi hawawezi kumudu. Ningependa kukubaliana na wasemaji ambao wamesema mbele yangu kwamba hii program ya Linda Mama ilikuwa ni program nzuri, lakini serikali yetu ambayo iko saizi imetoa huduma nyingi sana, na tunaogopa ya kwamba hata hii huduma ya Linda Mama inaweza ondolewa pia. Tukiangalia kwa mfano kwa wanafunzi ambao wako shuleni walikuwa wanapata insurance ama matibabu ya bure ambao wako secondary schools, saizi hiyo imeondolewa na wanalipa, na mambo mengine mengi, sera nzuri ambazo zimekuweko na saizi zimetolewa. Nafikiri hii ya Linda Mama ni vizuri kama itawezekana, basi iwachwe ibaki hapo. Ya mwisho, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni sehemu ya 12 ambayo imeangazia majukumu ya serikali ya kitaifa na serikali ya kaunti, na katika hii sheria majukumu ya serikali ya kitaifa yamekuwa ni kuunda sera za kuelekeza vile huu mswada utakavyotekelezwa, na katika serikali za magatuzi wametoa njia na mbinu za kuhakikisha kwamba huu mswada unatekelezwa vilivyo. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuwezi tekeleza huu mswada vyema na vilivyo kama hatutakuwa na pesa ya kutosha katika magatuzi. Nafurahia kwa sababu wakati wa kupitisha mswada wa Division of Revenue Bill, maseneta huku walikubaliana ya kwamba pesa iongezwe mpaka bilioni 415, na nawashukuru sana wenzangu wa upande ule mwingine kwa sababu mwaka ule uliopita hatukubaliana kwa ile pesa ambayo inatakana kupelekwa magatuzi, na wakapiga kura pesa iende kidogo. Lakini saa hizi moja kwa moja ama unanimously tumeweza kukubaliana ya kwamba ile pesa inaenda kwa magatuzi ni muhimu. Sisi kama maseneta ambao tunapigania na tunalinda ugatuzi, tupigie kura pesa nyingi zaidi ziende kwa kaunti zetu, ili mswada kama hii ya kuhakikisha kwamba ile ibara ya 43 ya kuhakikisha kwamba huduma za afya zimefikia wananchi wetu, basi zinawafikia bila kukosa. Lakini pia kuna kucheleweshwa kwa pesa zile za kaunti, na kucheleweshwa kwa pesa za kaunti kwenda kwa magatuzi inapelekea kuwa ya kwamba ile miradi ya maendeleo ama zile programs pia ambazo zinapelekea miswada kama hii kutekelezwa, saa zingine inakuwa shida kubwa sana, kwa sababu sheria inasema ya kwamba kabla mradi haujaanzishwa, kabla program haijaanzishwa, basi kuna pesa tayari katika account. Lakini kama pesa zitakuwa zinachelewa kuenda katika magatuzi, basi mswada kama hii na huduma kama hizi itakuwa ngumu zifikie wananchi wetu. Kwa hivyo mimi ningependa kusema kwamba huu mswada tuunge mkono moja kwa moja, na upigwe msasa kidogo pale natakana kupigwa msasa, ili kurutubisha zaidi, na tupitishe na ukienda huko National Assembly pia tupigie debe ili upite. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa hii fursa.
Senator Joyce Korir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me also to congratulate Honorable Beatrice Zogola on this very, very important bill, the bill on maternal, newborn and child health services bill, which has really come in very, very timely. I know it's long overdue. And I must applaud the Honorable Senator, because mothers plays a very critical role in the society in bringing up life. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that indeed the bill has tried to address a number of issues, ranging from right to health services. It has also addressed the issues of services for the non-pregnant women. It has addressed the issues of the pregnant women. It has also addressed the issues of the roles of the county governments. And Honorable Speaker, I want to specifically talk about the article that is part 4 of the bill, that is part 4 of the bill, Article 14, where it's talking about in F, the formulation of programs and implementation of strategies aimed at reducing the infant mortality rates and maternal mortality ratio in the counties. Honorable Speaker, this is something that has been really affecting a number of counties. And when you go to the statistics within the various counties that we have, this is an issue that has really been affecting us in terms of losing the infants and even the mothers. And also, Honorable Speaker, it will also enable us to implement the programs for the acceleration of infant immunization. And on H, Honorable Speaker, it talks about developing and implementing training programs for the skilled birth attendants in the county governments, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that this is a bill, Honorable Speaker, that is also trying to assist or to cure the challenges that people living with disabilities have been undergoing through, Honorable Speaker. And within the bill, it has also talked about the formation of community-based committee that is going to foresee the needs of the people living with disabilities and even the infrastructure that they are supposed to be assisted in getting their treatments, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that I will also want to agree with Honorable Senator from Narok on the issue of the care, the mother and child care, where it starts immediately after the child is born. And the amendment that Honorable Senator is trying to bring, where the child and the mother can be addressed or can be assisted for at least 1 year before they can be separated, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to say that I support this bill and I applaud the Honorable Senator and the senators who have contributed to this bill. Thank you, Honorable Senator. Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Joyce. Senator Hamida Kibwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would also want to add my voice on the bill. I congratulate Senator Beatrice for this bill. It is an important bill. It covers, or we hold us as mothers, we hold it dearly. I'm happy that it has covered most of the issues that are always raised. I've seen, for example, the free prenatal care, Mr. Speaker. The Linda Mama, of course, was quite, we were very, we were happy with the Linda Mama, but now that it has been withdrawn, we're really hoping that any other that has been introduced by the government will take care of the prenatal care, that is the Linda Mama. I can also see on number 7, Cap 7, is it the preparation classes as desired? The preparation classes is necessary, Mr. Speaker, for our young children. Girls are getting pregnant while they're 14, 15, 16, and they're not sure or they've not been trained on how to take care of the children. At least some of us had the privilege with our mothers, to help us through. So the preparation classes is necessary, and it is desired. Postpartum and postnatal period. Mr. Speaker, you realize I had a motion for postpartum depression. This is key for women who have gone, mental health for postpartum depression. Many women are going through this kind of depression. I even gave an example of one of my relatives who has to be taken to a mental health hospital when she goes through postpartum depression. So once we have the healthcare services for the postpartum depression, Mr. Speaker, all of us go through that period. Covers. It does cover and helps the women go through this stage. I've also seen the postnatal also, that is also covered. Mr. Speaker, many women, some of them, actually 3/4, or should I say over 45%, cannot afford to go to hospitals, imagine when they conceive. It is a serious matter. And you may find the woman only goes to hospital when she's about to give birth. Yet all that period, 8 months, nothing has been observed. So it is unfortunate most of the time that they lose their children because there's no postnatal follow-up. So I'm happy that this has been covered in this bill. And then also where the child is severely malformed at the time of birth is also necessary. Mr. Speaker, also, as women, most of them cannot afford pediatricians. And there's a name, maybe Senator Kalwale can assist me. You know, the doctors, the pediatricians who only deal with pediatric, I mean the child, you know, who are just been born, I mean the infant, sorry. That is necessary also for all of us women who deliver and don't have pediatric, you know, pediatricians. So this bill has taken care of that the healthcare provider may refer the child to a relevant medical practitioner. So that one, Mr. Speaker, is also covered in this bill. Mr. Speaker, essential interventions are highly cost-effective and result in benefit ratio. The reproductive health package is particularly at times quite hefty, but it's also important. This also covers the contraceptive services. Mr. Speaker, when we go through poor reproductive health, the outcome of women and children, of course, may result a risk factor, such as unsafe sex. So we need, girls need to go through need to go through this counseling on unwanted pregnancy, Mr. Speaker, and sexually transmitted infections. So I think I'm happy that this bill it's more or less overhauls all the necessary issues on maternal, newborn and child bill. The last but not the least, Mr. Speaker, another hidden reproductive health is infertility, Mr. Speaker. Infertility, nowadays we realize it's quite key. And in 2010, an estimated 48.5 women were involuntarily childless. So this, I'm hoping that this bill will also cover that. Mr. Speaker, you're all aware that I had my e-health bill, which is now has been transformed into digital health bill. And it was actually also more or less, I would say, it complemented the maternal newborn and child bill. So I'm happy that since maybe I may not be, I mean, again, a champion of my e-health bill since it has already been taken, I mean, by the government, but then I'm happy that Senator Beatrice has covered actually most of the things. And I also want her, if necessary, to see whether telemedicine and everything can be covered on this one. So that at least, you know, the telemedicine, you may find that that child doesn't have to be brought to Nairobi, but then can be treated there, and the doctors, all those things can be sent to Nairobi for the test and then go back maybe to Meru or to some place. So telemedicine is also necessary in this. And also in pharmacy, how do they track the medicine, the pharmacy thing, I mean the medicine from point A to point B, that is going to, of course, medicine for, that is, of course, in the package of telemedicine. We have the telemedicine and the pharmacy. So all of them should be tracked together so that even a person in Garissa or Tana River can be treated, or a child, mother, and, you know, a newborn can be treated. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to say that I support this bill 100%. Thank you.
Senator Mutinda Tabitha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me first to applaud my sister, Senator Ogolla, for such a great bill. And I want to say that this bill is not only for mothers, but for all generations, both male and female, because it is in our collective responsibility then that we get the natural blessing as God gives us, because it comes from God, and it's something that requires the responsibility of both parties. So I really want to also appreciate the male colleagues who've really shown very positive support. This is a journey that even us as women, we cannot achieve alone. Touching on the area of the medical sector, Mr. Speaker, you realize that both male and female are doctors, are gynecologists, are pediatricians, and so it is totally a collective responsibility, and in that, then we are able to achieve and see a generation that has a space medically that is going to be accommodative, especially for the young ones, for the future. Let me start, looking at or mentioning the issue of the CHPs. CHPs are really playing a very key role in our country, and I'm happy that it's been one of our manifestos that we've been able to achieve. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Mr. Speaker, is because in our recent DORA submissions, we, as a Committee of Finance, we were able to highlight the cost that comes with the CHPs, putting in mind the role that the CHPs do play. Like in Nairobi, we have over 7,000 CHPs, and they play a very key role, up and including helping on reducing the issues of mortality, and there's a cost that comes, and so it is very key, it is very important to note, even when we discuss on the issues of DORA, that one of the costs that we are taking care of is the CHP's cost. Then who in the long run will be able to have very much impact as far as the issues of mortality are concerned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I note in the bill, and I would want my sister, my Senator Gola, to note on section 8(2), it talks about where the child under subsection 1 is severely malformed at the time of birth, the healthcare provider may refer the child to a relevant medical. Mr. Speaker, I note and pick a key English word that I've realized the legal fraternity really likes using, and then it leaves things that are not fully closed. Because when you say that the health provider may, and in this case scenario, we are talking of a child who has had a malformation at the time of birth. So when we say may, then it means that the hospital can decide to take further medical action or diagnosis, or they might not. So I think that strictly should change and say the healthcare provider shall, so that it is mandatory, because the aim of these two, section 8 part 2, is to try and ensure that the child is safe in case of a malformation. So there should be much emphasis by using the word shall, Mr. Speaker. In our different committees, we've looked at some of the acts that the counties are using. And one of the things that we've noted is that especially when they present their acts, but they do not have regulations to guide them in the policies and administration of the same regulation, that act that they've been able to put. And in one of the clauses, you realize it indicates and says that the county may, do regulation. So it is not a must, it's not mandatory. And so when you leave it like this, then it's not mandatory for that child can be able to get further care. So there should be emphasis of the word shall, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also noted on the issue of hospitals as an institution, and also personnel as far as medical practitioners are concerned. And this is in regard to if there is a case, like case example, to be more specific, Mr. Speaker, is the cases that we've seen that some of the hospital as institution and some of the rogue medical practitioners collude with unscrupulous business people to steal born babies, and make money out of it. And I'm just losing where the section was, but I think I read earlier, and it was talking about a fine of about 1 million and 2 years imprisonment. Pregnancy naturally is 9 months, as God, has it has been. And so saying even 1 year is even 2 years, it cannot be matched with the pain that a woman goes through. And then you find that in this process you're prepared for your child, and then someone out there is preparing to make it commercial, to collude with this particular team to steal babies in hospitals, as we've seen. So I would request, Senator, that you increase the fine charges and also increase the duration. Because even after 2 years, someone can come back. Number two, the fine of 1 million, if this is their business, as we've seen in the different reports that have been made, kids are even being sold up to about Kenya shillings 300,000. So God forbid, but if that's a person is even selling just 3 within us, because every day kids are born, that person is able to manage the fine of 1 million. It's not something that we are, it's so good to even discuss. It's very painful, but it should be as high, as close to even 10 million, as close to even 10 years of imprisonment, because that is selling a life. That is, against so many things. So I think you should be able to increase that particular fine and duration imprisonment. Mr. Speaker, I also noted there's another issue that in terms of my proposal would be in regards to the free medical for the infant and also for the mother, because you cannot provide one facility for only the infant alone. It also, that infant is as a result of that mother. So they are a package. So there needs to be, and I agree with what Senator Lekina was talking about in terms of the amendment of the insurance firms, whereby there can be a free cover for the mother and the infant. I've seen some counties, and members would agree with me, some counties have been flagged out to have very low fertility rates. And this is due to, at times, high rates of alcoholism and a few other factors. But still, you realize that in this time, the birth rate for families is quite very low. But now, focusing on the issues of the alcohol issues, whereby even young people are not focusing on giving birth, this issue of whereby there will be free medical for the infant and free for the mother, then it will even encourage them, because some of them are fearing because of the cost or implication that comes with it. So it will be able to encourage young couples to be able to be confident that that cost will be minimized. Mr. Speaker, as I also conclude, also what I've had my colleague Senator talk about, the telemedicine, the telepharmacy, we are in the digital era. So these are technologies that I'm happy to note that you've also factored them in this particular bill. It is positive, and that is good moving forward in future. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, it's good to note that in future, we might not have so many students in our schools. And this is because the birth rate is not at a higher rate, but a very minimal rate. So it will be better to give much more emphasis on the health of our kids and looking at where we are with CBC, making it much more practical. So the institutions of learning will be having very, very fewer students in the different learning institutions. So if the more emphasis can be put to the medical institutions, then that way we'll be able to achieve and have a healthy nation, hence a healthy nation, hence a wealthy nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kamar Margaret.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. First, I would like to congratulate my sister for a well-articulated bill. Mr. Speaker, because of the shortage of time, I would like to first touch on the objects of the bill, which I really appreciate the way she has articulated them. The first one is a very important one for us because what this bill has done is to unpack what is in the Constitution. It's trying to translate the rights, the Bill of Rights, the rights that are enshrined in the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, the rights to the children, the rights to individual Kenyans. And when you look at the objects that he has given, is that this is going to provide a framework for the delivery of comprehensive quality health service to meet the health needs of mothers, newborns, and children. This, to me, is extremely important because, Mr. Speaker, we realize that mothers have never been part of the story. It's like in Kenya, a mother becomes pregnant, it is her business, she gets her baby, it is still her business. We have not really looked at how a mother can be taken care of because this is a mother who is giving birth to a Kenyan, and we don't recognize that, and this bill is recognizing that. Now, further, she goes on to look at insurance that maternal, newborn, and child health care provisions are within reach. Mr. Speaker, when I became a member of Parliament of Eldoret East, we had a terrible problem because a lot of people were delivering on the roadside. And I know it is still going on in some places, that mothers, nobody cares where you deliver, it's up to you, you are pregnant, you are about to give birth, it's up to you to look for your way out. And yet we know that even in times like we are in right now, with this flooding that is going on, there are people who cannot reach, who cannot access anything. Sometimes they cannot even access midwives, let alone the fact that the training of midwives went very low, because for a very long time we looked at midwives as those traditional women who had no value. It is now that we are seeing the value of the same women, and we have a lot of problems. So the establishment of programs to expand and improve availability and access of maternal, newborn, and child care services is one that we must take very seriously in this Senate. Why? So health is devolved. And because health is devolved, we should not restrict our access to these facilities to health centers, as we are told, and beyond. It is very important that any dispensary should have a maternity wing. It is just one room, a delivery room, and a place for the mother to rest after that. If we have a tradition of taking care of them at that level, then we are going to make a difference in the lives of these mothers. And this, again, is because we have never really looked at the mother. We have been looking at these Kenyans when they are grown up, they join the army, they become our officers, the police, they become teachers, professors, and so forth. But if we focus on taking care of the mother, then we are going to have a healthy nation. Because without taking care of how the mother is treated before birth and after, we will continue to treat diseases that should not be even around us. So I really am very, very happy with this bill myself. We know that we are going into community health providers stage, and that is going to be very helpful. The one thing that I want to again mention as far as mothers is concerned is maternity leave. The maternity leave in Kenya is completely a bastard. In the law, it says it should be a minimum of 3 months. In TSC, it is 120 days, which is 4 months. Paternity leave in TSC is 21 days. You go to universities, it is 10 days. We need to regulate. And I'm going to ask my sister to look for an area where she can actually bring in maternity leave. And my proposal, my sister, is that we have 6 months. Standard, 6 months. A mother is taking care of a Kenyan. She's not just taking care of a baby because she gave birth to a baby. She's taking care of a Kenyan. Let's give value to the child, because a child who is not taken care of by the mother will actually be unhealthy for a very long time, and it doesn't matter whether it is NHIF or whatever freedom healthcare service we give, we will have problems. Mr. Speaker, I know time is over, but I'm really grateful, and I encourage my sister introduce 6 months maternity leave, and we are good with this bill. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m. Senator Kamar, if you were not done, you still had 15 minutes to conclude on your submissions on the bill when the House resumes. It is now 6:30 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 8 May 2024 at 9:30 a.m.
of the day since the Battle of the Bridge. Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur face off in West London once again. On that night, the Blues stopped Spurs winning the league. Tonight, the task is to put a big dent in their Champions League qualification ambitions. It's always a spicy fixture, if not usually quite as hot as that night in 2016. But with local pride and precious points both on the line, expect another full-blooded contest here this evening. Chelsea have more points, wins and goals against Spurs than any other opponent in the Premier League, and tonight are aiming to complete the league double over the neighbours from the north. Well, we now know that fifth won't be good enough for a place in the Champions League next season. Spurs must usurp Aston Villa to book a place in the tournament next term. They start the night 7 points behind Villa, but with 2 games in hand. Let's take a check on the two teams then. Chelsea may be missing 14 first-team squad members, but despite that, there is just one change to the 11 that started at Villa Park. That sees Alfie Gilchrist come in for the injured Thiago Silva. Spurs make 4 alterations to the team that started the North London derby defeat, with Emerson Royal, Yves Bissouma, Brennan Johnson and Richarlison replacing Davis, Bentancur, Højbjerg and Werner, who, like Udogie, will miss the rest of the season. And here comes the buzzkill that is VAR.
Hundreds of goals made this, it goes into a dangerous area, but I mean, Johnson has got the time, he can see the picture, can he not pick out a white shirt there?
Excellent form at Stamford Bridge, looking to finish the season strongly, and Sam, a worthy win tonight.